Sorry, team. Running very slightly late here. Sorry. Hope you're all doing good. Had a good weekend. Prepared for the trades. All right, done your research, read the newsletter, all that good stuff. Got off the charts. Let's get into it then. All right, daily. You can see right at the very top Bollinger Band. Weekly, also at the top Bollinger Band. We are running out of room. This is very, very squeezy at the moment. All right, this is a huge move now off this pivot low, which has happened in record-breaking time, really. All right, we're up in the space of 30 days, 29%. All right, that's a size move that we expect over 3 years to make that sort of make sense to you. All right, it's a huge move. We have an inside bar here, but more importantly is we are opening up in range. So if we move down to the hourlies, this is what becomes important. All right, previous week value area high, right at our all-time highs. Previous week point of control right down here where we rotated and have a high volume node, and previous week value area low down here. And we have now 3 naked old point of controls from weeklies, which we haven't visited. All right, so we're inside previous week at the top side. If we come into the daily levels, you can see we're trading inside previous day's value area high. All right, so previous day value area high New York session right here at 350s. Previous day value area low right down here at 140s. Previous day point of control right here at the lows at basically 290s. So 350 to 290, a 60-point range is what we're seeing at the moment. We haven't found acceptance outside of that. All right, overnight on Sunday, if you traded any of it, we broke out, or we tried to break out towards new all-time highs, and we got slammed. All right, so there was the attempt of the break. There's the all-time highs, slammed on the face, absorbed back up, slammed on the face, absorbed back up, slammed on the face, another attempt of a breakout, slammed on the face, and then absorbed back up. Right, there's your box. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. We're boxed in. All right, we're boxed in. If we start to lose the box, right, there's very simply 2 sides of this that we're going to trade. There is either a look below and fail, a failed break, which comes right back in, and we can use low volume nodes from last week and current week that we look at. This is current week profile. If we zoomed right back, you'd be able to look at last week's profile. Or maybe that is last week's profile. My bad, that is last week's profile, even better. Right, so we can watch these edges at 260 to 240, 235 to 218s if we're going to do look below and fail. All right, so look below and fail will be to the other side of the range. Look below and reject will be a rotation to previous day value area low. Losing that will be a rotation to the 900. Losing that would be a rotation all the way down to point of control. All right, same for the upside. All right, if we base above, we look good for a break. But if we look above and fail, just like we did twice last night, then we're going to come probably and do one of these. So boxed in here. All right. Question is this accumulation, or is this the start of distribution for a bigger pullback? All right, that's the question right now. If we just move up these charts, you can see London just trading. I'll take this view up off. London trading well inside of Asia right now. So there's your Asia high and low. There's your London. There's a sweep of London high coming back down. Haven't quite swept London low. We're sort of pinned in one of these right now. All right, be very, very careful. Very, very careful. What's moving stuff? Well, we're going to go over that very shortly. Mainly, again, chips and oil, given what we've seen over the weekend, where a deal doesn't look like it's going to get done anytime soon with Iran, but we'll see. We'll see. Trump saying he's not happy with the Iranian proposal. Same story on ES. Okay, so exactly the same story. You're boxed in. You can use this, I guess. 420s, 425s, and the downside, I guess 400s really. You can use 400s and 390s as your gamma level. All right, so exactly the same story. If we go to the SPY and the QQQ, you're going to see the same story. All right, boxed in. There's Friday. All right, most of Friday. We're an inside bar inside of Friday. We get above that, we have gamma above to go for 740s. We get below that, 735. We lose that, you can see that's the old gap. We have room. That's the Thursday to Friday gap. We lose 735. There is room for a deeper wash. Okay, and that's in the spiders and the Qs. That'd be the same story. All right, there's your Friday sort of pivot. 709s boxed into sort of 712-ish. There's your box. All right, we lose 09s. We can maybe test 08, 07, mainly 05. We lose that 700s. All right, that was our breakout level, remember. That was the breakout that came on Friday. So we can come right back for that. They didn't wash any stops. You're going to need to see weakness, though. All right, you're going to need to see the market come below this box, keep these buyers trapped, and start to rotate down. You want to be very careful about the look below and fail like we talk about. All right, crude we're going to have a look at because we did originally get over the 100 on the break last night. So there's the breakout on the news. There's the 100 lot, 100 level, coming back in and downside to where we broke out from. If you're going to watch crude today, you want to see if it finds a bid between 96 and 94. If it loses that bid, then market probably finds some strength. All right, if it loses that bid, you can see this is starting to look like a two-leg. It has to hold this area here for upside. Otherwise, crude's going to start sliding, and that will help the market continue to move up. Dixie also coming back down. Same kind of look right now. All right, remember, if oil slides, Dixie will slide. Market will bid up. VIX, there's your gap. Remember, we talked about this at the back of last week. I said they've put 20 on the deck. There you go. There's your 20. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they come for that next week because it seems odd to put that in if we're in a sliding market. Well, we've gapped up. If they hold 18s, they're looking for 19s and 20s. That would be your risk-off scenario confirmation in the market. All right, if they just pump to fail, right, anything down here, very, very bullish for the market in terms of tone. All right, let's have a look at the mag. Apple, trading inside of Friday's range. Big day for it on Friday. It wants the 295 and it probably wants the psych level of 300. Remember, we're still swing long in this, so I've not taken profit in this one. We're looking good. All right, so if we're willing to hold this RBS zone, they can keep going. You just want to watch this pin, basically. Very similar to the Qs. 95 to, we can just call it 92s. All right, that's your pin in while we rotate. All right, lose that, slide, or look below, fail. Print that, push, or look above, fail. It's exactly the same as Qs. So sentiment's the same across the board there. Amazon, weak. All right, that's sliding back off. All right, there's your break. There's your breakdown. There's your range. Right, we're starting to lose. We can't find acceptance back in the range. If they lose 70s in Amazon, they come probably back down to these old RBS zones down here into 60s. Right, so if they lose 70s, we'll be watching 68 and 62s on Amazon for that downside slide. Right, so we're already not aligned with Apple there. Google looks heavy as well. Still in a range, but starting to lose the range, right? So that's 2 out of the 3 so far looking heavy. If we slide down under 90, we can keep going. Again, there's your fail break. There's the backside of the move, potentially setting up on Goog until we get down into these 82s for a bid. We'll see. Meta, another one weak. All right, another gap down. So that's 3 of the first 4. Again, this looks very similar to the other ones we just looked at. Fail break, coming back down into a support system here. Can it find a bid? Microsoft, another one weak, another gap down. All right, notice this. All right, into its old pivot. That's where we found a bid from before. Do they bid it again? If not, slide. All right, so that's 4 out of 5 now. Nvidia, another gap down. All right, but into more of a key range here. So Nvidia can still hold this range if it wants, but I would say if Nvidia fails to reclaim 215s, you probably see some profit taking. So that doesn't look too strong either. Tesla, again, another gap down, starting to lose its Friday bid. So it needs to reclaim that bid there at 24s and 25s to get going. If it stays heavy versus that, probably a slide into 15s. So Mag not looking great. Let's have a look at some of the broader names here. Oracle, some of the software names coming back in. That's gapping down. This is its pivot to hold on Oracle. The chip names are the one that matter. SOXL, remember, this thing's still flying. All right, NVIDIA had INTC more news this morning. Right, so this thing's still on a pump. If it holds any base over 67s, basically, and 70s, you can see what they're looking for, that 200 level. If we have a look at some of these names, like INTC, caught another, I mean, this is just insane. I mean, this is quite the push. All right, that is quite the push in a matter of days. It's amazing. But up they go. You cannot fight them right now. So INTC going, MU looks like it's going, AMD gapping up, but not as strong. Not as strong. So we have to see if there's profit taking on some of those names, folks. Especially those of you who are adamant on getting backside in this market. We have news coming later in the week, new chair, lots of stuff to look out for. So we're just going to need to have some resilience and patience and control today, all right, while we go sideways, all right, while we go sideways. We need a breakdown under key levels, all right, for us to like really warrant a continuation. Otherwise, it is very much a ranging market right now, very much a ranging market at these highs. All right, so we're going to have to wait. We can draw these on pretty simply, to be honest, to help us out here. Let's just box this in. I thought we'd already done it, but let's set one box is here and one box is basically up here. All right, and these are our boxes right now. All right, we're boxed inside. Alex doesn't really like trading inside these in general. All right, we do have some news this morning for you prop firm traders. Take Profit Trader, all right, has a flash sale, 50% off. It ends Sunday. After Sunday, right, if you haven't purchased during flash, any new purchases, and that 50% off will be for life, so you can keep those, and they will continue to be 50% off with no activation fee. After Sunday, prices are going up on TPT resets. They won't be $100 across the board, right? So worth being aware of there. Prices will start to move up. So if you're interested in trading with Take Profit Trader, you can use code FLOWZONE right now, and it will get you 50% off. Okie dokie. Right, getting ready here for this market. Trump speaking at 10:30, is he really? I mean, this guy cannot stop talking. The amount of posts on social media last night was absolutely insane. I'm glad I went to bed. I don't know how you guys trade Globex when it's like that. Crazy, 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 at least in my mind. We'll see. We've had some selling coming here this morning at 91s and not be able to get any follow through. So let's see, folks. We're probably going to get divergence at the open between SOXL and the mag names, I would imagine, and crude. So just watch out for that. Just watch out for that. Here comes your open. 1 second. Here's the morning drive. So up to VWAP, got clapped at VWAP there. And see if they break down underneath all of this good stuff here, or if we're just going to pin in previous day's point of control. And we'd need to find acceptance outside of this grey box for follow through downside. Otherwise, they can just chop inside previous day's value, as you can see. So they're holding POC. They might want to come up here. We just have to wait. Here's the lift. All right, SOXL breaking out. Pre-market high break. And all of the mag red. There's the divergence we talked about, yes. So all of the mag red, other than NVIDIA's just caught a little bit of a bid. Rest of the mag red and SOXL breaking out. So previous day value area high here. Let's see if they find acceptance through this to go to previous week value area high. I won't be touching any of this until we get outside one of these grey boxes or see a failed break. Mag continuing to sell and SOXL continuing to bid up. Oh, what a Monday. What a nice way to start a Monday. All right, so if you're trading box to box, you should be trimming some of your profits up here as we come into these levels. Coming up to previous day high, overnight high, all that good stuff. It's all up here, folks. It's all up here. NVIDIA's trying to find a bid with SOXL and all that. There's previous day high pretty much tagged. Overnight high is at 400. ES has caught a bid as well. I'll turn this down a bit. Very bright in my face. There we go. That's a little bit better. SOXL is going absolutely berserk here. I'll give you a readout on the mag. Tesla 1% down. Nvidia 0.13% up. Microsoft 1.29% down. Meta 1% down. Google 1.65% down. Amazon 0.83% down. Apple 0.60% down. And SOXL has just absolutely ripped faces off the open. So the divergence we talked about between chips starting to show itself. Oil as well, pulling back off those highs. Okay, here's overnight high and value area high for the current current week from the Sunday open, overnight high here, and you can see through this they have levels they might want to pump. So I'm watching this to see if we break and hold or we do a failed break. These are the levels which I'm looking for, the grey boxes. Amazing, the divergence. It's absolutely amazing. Chip mania, AI mania continues. Nothing matters anymore. Up, up, up we go on chips. Let's price everything in to bonkers levels. Here we go. Up, 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 up. Nothing matters. We ignore the Mag 7 now. We just go up because AMD goes up, we go up. It's a bonkers market. It is a absolutely bonkers market. Look at this drive off the open. All right, so we're going to watch now. If they hold the bid at 400, then we can keep pumping. If they lose the bid at 400, that would be an indication of a failed break. So here we come back towards the 400. This is the level that now matters while they make a decision. It looks like SOXL wants 190 at the moment. All the way back to the fours. And I'm going to watch for breakout versus failed breakout here. There's a little low volume node into fours. I want to see it get filled. I don't want to see them hold above it. Otherwise, we can't do anything either side. So let's get some volume on here as well before I forget. There we go. So you can see that little low volume node I'm watching. For them to make a decision here. It looks like SOXL wants that 190 at gamma level, and then above that it wants 200. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers right now. Absolutely bonkers. Nvidia finding a bid as well. This market just in a bonkers mood. I'm just going to be hands off. We didn't even come and test 400. We bid above it. Certainly not betting against this market right now. All right, ES coming into its first gamma level, 425. We've still got nothing. We got nothing until 29,910, really. Another 500 points higher is really where they're pricing in this morning, which is wild. Let's see if that updates. Seems a little bit far-fetched right now, but there we go. Yes, a huge move off the open. Well, we went box to box. Why? Again, it's the divergence with chips. It is a big divergence with chips right now. All right, once SOXL gives up, this thing's going to be toast. But until that point, you got to think they keep pumping and pumping and pumping the chip names. It will end in tears. It will absolutely end in tears. But guessing when that happens is very, very hard. All right, still printing above these 400s. We had a big squeeze above 400s. Still not come back. Here we go into the fours. I'm going to watch for fail breakout versus breakout here. I just want to see what happens on the tape. So here's the fours. Here's previous day high. They can bid 87s. If we start to reject 406s here and then come back under previous day high, that red line on the screen, I will be looking for the short. SOXL coming right back down in. Otherwise, they can hold this print and go for more. So I'm watching this carefully. Starting to see sellers step on the tape here. Come on. The range is so big that Bookmap's struggling to join and see. Okay, watching this very carefully. If we pop and fail now, it's a big rejection on ES as well. The 425s. Please don't slide one way without coming back up. Seriously. Oh god. Okay, well, I'm still watching to see if we pop up and fail here. We're actually holding value area low on the day. I want to see how we react at 400. If we can get up there. If we can get up there, I'm looking to sell this back inside with what we're seeing on the mag. If we can get up there, but can we not get up at all now? Is that it? Seriously? I'm going to have to find a way of joining this somehow. Oh my god, there's previous day value area high. I'm looking for this to trade up to 400. You could sometimes just gotta laugh, folks. Right, looking to see if we can come up to 400 and sell it. Please. I want to be careful because ES has hit full 25s coming back to hold its New York view up and previous day close, which is your previous week close. So it's finding a bid there. Wanting to see if we can come up here and if we see some form of failure. Looks like a meme coin. It does, man. It's just trading like a small cap right now. We're holding previous day value area high. We want to see failures around here if we're going to look for the short. All right, we're going to have to see failures up here as it comes back up inside. So if we're going to look for the short, VIX breaking out for new highs. Tempted to put a piece on here, but it's not pumped up quite high enough. It's looking good though. If we trade back under previous day value area high, I'm probably going to have to find a way of getting involved because I don't think I'm going to get the fill where I want. I'd really prefer a lift up. No, not going to come up at all. Looks like they're just going to try and sell this down to 310s at the moment. It's a wild range. Trying to get involved now, down towards VWAP and 310s. Got a piece on. It's not sized in because we didn't lift to where I wanted. But I've got a piece on here. Okay, let's see. Really like a 400 test to size in. Anyone asking questions in chat? I'll get to them afterwards. Right, let me trade first. The market's just opened. We're not going to talk about what things are doing long term and looking at other stocks right now. Not when we've got this volatility. Let's just focus in. This is going to provide opportunities. So SOXL holding its pre-market high here. I want to be careful. Ideally, this lifts and fails. Then I can size in. I want to see it come to 400. We've got some imbalances up here for a lift and fail. That would be ideal. It did trap some selling at 45s, but I'm looking to see how we act at 400 here. Still holding flow zones as well. All right, coming back up towards previous week value area high. Please come up a bit more. No. Please come up a bit more. I want to size in. I want to see a pop and a stuff. I'm gonna wait. Here comes the pop. Come on. I'm gonna fill all these guys. Yes, a good hold of New York VWAP. As the divergence continues, Nvidia's found a bid with chips. We're almost up there. I'm just looking to it's coming to 400 for me to see how we really act before I size anything. So I've got a tiny piece on. I want to see us trade up to 400. If we keep holding 62s here, previous week value area high, then we will. Otherwise, I'm going to struggle to get any size on here unless I play the breakdown right down to the other side. But we'll see. We're staying heavy at 62s at the moment. I don't want to add early while they just whip this around. SPY trying to break back out as well. So we're seeing divergence to SPY now. Energy's probably caught a bid, I would imagine. Oh, man. Tabs, why are you such a dick? Why would you come and say it? Last week, we made over like 250 points numerous times. Why would you come in and say that like we didn't work last week? We made big money last week, you weirdo. You probably are the guy that comes here in the mornings for 5 minutes and then leaves. It requires patience. Moron. All right, ES poking out to the new high, failing, failed follow through, relative weakness here on NQ at the moment. ES new high of day, SOXL struggling to get back going. Such a weirdo, man, coming with that energy. This isn't going to work. Yeah. All right, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's trading, mate. But this is what I'm looking for. We've seen a failed breakout of the grey box. We're starting to struggle to get back through the grey box. We're failing the whole number. SOXL's trading back down inside. ES is breaking out to the upside. We're waiting to see. All right, you weirdo. We trade our plan, not what you think. I'm going to trade my plan. I'm going to stick to my plan. When my plan fails, guess what I'm going to do? Stop out. Until that point, I'm trading my plan. I'm trading my plan until that point. Here we go. Starting to get up to those fours. This is what I want to see, how we act when we get up to these fours. It's just weird energy to come in here and just say that stuff as if like we failed loads last week. Like we made plenty of money on stream last week. It's just bad energy. You're starting a Monday off with poor chat. Just don't bring it to the table. Like you don't want to be here, get out, go somewhere else. But I tell you what, buyers came in at 400s. That's why I'm looking to see how we trade at 400s. It's very simple. If we start holding above that, I'll take my first starter off and we can move to new highs, and that's fine. But until that point, I'm seeing divergence. I'm playing what I'm seeing on the tape. Here's the 400. There's the imbalance tap. Failing that imbalance after we've tapped it. So I want to see if we make a lower high here and we start to come back under 60s. If not, if we start to base over fours, I take the starter position off. It's very simple. They are adding liquidity up to 20s at the moment. So if they break fours, they're going to go for 20s. I'm not adding anything until I see pops fail. I'm in a tiny, tiny, tiny piece with house money right now. If we break fours and holds, I'm out. Just trying to give it a little room with a micro here just to get a feeler on. That's all it is. It's a feeler. ES breaking out to new highs. This is the fours. This matters now. All right, cut my starter here. Let's see if they're going to go for more. If they base and hold above the grey box, I could think about buying back in, but I'm waiting to see. Starter's off now. This is the level. You can see it's the first reaction at 20s. There's sellers up there at 20s. What's the target on ES? If you're upside, well, your call one, which you're above, is 425. You've got 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 on GEX, all up there. Okay, starting to see fails up here, some sellers here. We haven't hit that 420 where that seller is just stacked. He's not walking down, and you're seeing absorption on this grey box. I'm not willing to play unless we get underneath everything. We're just transferring value area high to pin high here, 410s. Again, I'm flat at the moment. Put a little starter on with house money, and we'll see. Strength's coming from ES right now, interestingly. Amazon's gone red to green. Nvidia's the one pushing 2%. The rest of the market is all down still. So Tesla 1.39% down, Microsoft 1.20% down, Meta 1.5% down, Google 1.13% down, Apple 0.86% down, Amazon red to green, 0.17% up, Nvidia just under 2% up. And it's all on chips, and they are starting to get stuck here at the 50% range of the New York Open, the first push in New York. They are starting to get stuck, these chip names. If they can't find a bid out soon, you will probably see profit taking, but at the moment they're just sideways. Nothing's happening here. There's still these sellers are up at 420s, waiting to see if they walk down or not. This is just like the last few weeks with them dangling fruits above. Failing these 400. Big seller here at 430s. Sorry, 390s. Can't read. If we come back under value and start to stay heavy, I'll consider getting back in. We poked a little bit higher than I would have liked to see, which is why I cut that starter. They are chopping this around now. Well, we've moved outside of previous day value, inside previous week, or I guess we're outside of previous week now. They can expand here if they're going to hold this grey box. Am I waiting for the short now? Yeah, like I said, I put a feeler on here, a micro on here. I took it off at the top side of the grey box. I'll wait to see if we come back under this all. I'll consider about getting back in. But we've got massive divergence. Again, we've talked about this numerous times the last week or two. It's still taking place. ES, you've seen a rotation, basically. ES is the strength today. You've seen a rotation. Chips pumped this morning. Now they've stopped. They're at the 50. They've pulled back 50% and they've gone sideways. That's it. A rotation out of what? A bit of profit taking from chips, probably a rotation into the banks and energy, I would imagine. I haven't looked yet, but the fact that ES has broken to new highs and NQ hasn't would suggest that. If the chips get going again, NQ will break. We'll go back to the upside. They're trying to hold this grey box. So this might be the dip that holds. We will see. I might regret not buying this on the hold, but I don't like what I'm seeing, the breadth across the board. The chips don't give me confidence to buy. This is like last week, back to previous day high again. Chips still not moving higher. So if you're watching SOXL, you'll see that morning drive, the first 10 minutes, big push, and then we pulled right back 50% and we've not moved since. We are stuck there right now. Here's the failures back into this grey box, back to previous day highs. Again, if we start getting heavy under 360, I will think about this because the breadth does not look good. I've said it many, many times. If we come under the 360s here, I will see if it wants to sell again, where I put my first starter position on. Here we go. Watching 360s if they start to sell this. $360s, previous week's level. So iffy here. This is the level that they will need to hold. Bidding 360s. So still no sell yet. $740 is the level spiders want, I think, by the looks of it. Range, yeah. I mean, you guys are so quick to say it. Yeah, we're in a range up here. We're 20 minutes in. We're at previous week value area high. We're trapped between these levels right now. Previous day value area high, previous week value area high. All right, there's our range for the day. But we're only 20 minutes in, folks. Give it a chance. Everyone relax a little bit. If we see weakness, I will sell the weakness. Here's the 360s. Sorry, I've got a starter back on again here now. Here we go. All right, here's the 340s. So just a feeler back on. Again, a micro back on. That's all it is. Just to see if we're going to take a dive here. Lots of bids down here towards 320s. This 340 level matters. We're seeing weakness in the NQ versus ES right now. It's just a starter. I won't give it a room above 75. It's all it is a starter. Just feeling my way around the market. If they hold it, that's okay. Again, I'm playing with house money. All right, took a nice position last night, so woke up nicely in the money. All right, here they go. They're trying to sell through the 40s now. Remember, you got VWAP underneath that 40s. Surprised ES made a new high there on that double top, but we'll see. SOXL down to towards its pre-market highs again. If it can't find a bid here and it slides, NQ will slide. If it finds a bid here, NQ will find that trade back up into range again. All I've got is a tiny starter on. That's all it is right now. Nvidia the strength right now. Chips are the strength. And we're trapped between New York VWAP and 24-hour VWAP. It's like a repeat of, I don't know, the last 2 weeks. Divergence between the indexes. Stuck between VWAPs for the first. I mean, we've had to wait up to 90 minutes for really good trades. News at 10, yes, there is news at 10. Existing home sales, nothing major. Currently, they're bidding value very low on the day. See, if we lose this print, see, I think we can come right back in. But if we hold this print, we can keep just washing in here. I'm trying to play continuation if it's ready, but it's going to need the chips to die. They're not dying right now. They're just stuck. They are stuck. I've got a feeler on here. Come on, let's see. Are we going to expand under 40s? So much liquidity to come and clear now. Here we go. Let's see if we can get VWAP and under. And if we let go of VWAP, this could be fun. Big level down here. Hey, it's not going to work. It's like last week. Fuck me, mate. You lot do like make me laugh in the mornings. All right, here's VWAP. Let's see if we trade through this. This is previous week, previous day close now. If we start letting go of this, it will be a sign of weakness. This is like a TP1 if you're scalping. Yes, beautiful. Here we come. Same every day, isn't it? Same every day. Yada, 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 yada. Yada, 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 yada. Okay, here we go. Guess what? Chips are rolling over. They're now at their VWAPs. Big rejection on spiders there. Real weakness will come on spider under 25s, right? How do I know when I place my positions? Well, I quite literally told you both times. All right, more weakness here. SPY coming back in. If we get under that New York Open, which is basically 305s, if we trade under 305s, 290s, we're going to go box to box, right? This is your fail break of the grey box. We talked about this. Be careful of a fail break. If we come under this, we wash. This is the edge of rotation. So we're looking to TP some out into here. And if we stay weak under here, we start to get very, very, very heavy. We went over this pre-market. Hopefully you listen to me and not random person in chat. Long from 320, I mean, that's the imbalance. Right now, you're seeing a pretty heavy tape at the moment. Sellers are up at 350s. You're starting to move under value area highs from previous day, previous weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if a pop gets resold into. Just be careful. Like if you're looking for the rotation, you really need a reclaim of 340s and a base above is what you really need if you're looking long. Because they can still sell into this, which is what they've just done. Again, I'm still short. And you've got news coming, what, 4 minutes? Yeah, 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes. So good rejection of 340s there. Again, for any of you that were trying that long, like I said, 340s just stayed heavy. You don't really want to be long until it reclaims that and holds it. This can get very, very nasty because bulls have got used to buying everything. All right, and if chips now, new low of day, they're into the New York Open. If chips let go of this New York Open, they're in trouble. I'm just warning you now. If chips let go of this New York Open, they will be in trouble. All right, so if you're going to bid on this, I would say bid once strength comes in and you start to hold. It's cheap. I think you might need to zoom out, mate. think you might need to zoom out if you think this is a cheap bid. I think a zoom out for you might do you some good. Yeah, quite right. News here, 2 minutes. Right, there's still sellers at 55s. There are sellers high. I want to see if they walk down or not. Paid myself a little bit. I'm watching these 340s. If we base above 340s, I'll probably take it off. Not a spike, a base above. We're just filling an imbalance here on the spike. Nvidia giving a lot of the gains back, by the way. SOXL new low of day under New York Open, by the way. Not holding above 340s here, by the way. I'm just trying to help you. Take with it what you want. I'm trying to help you. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. If you've got your own plan, that's fine. But I'm telling you, 340s is staying heavy. Here we go. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you, mate. There's the 300s. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, so it's still in this, sat in this short. I'm going to wait to see it. Here's the New York Open. If we start to come under 290s and show weakness, I will start to add in. Where's my stop right now? Well, at the moment, I've got it placed at 65s. Right? We're not basing over 40s, are we? We are just seeing this fade back in. Look at previous day's value area high. What did we reject? Value area high. What have we seen this morning? Try to make this clear to you. We are trading breakout or fail breakout. Grey box, grey box. What's that? There's a failed breakout. What's that? A lower high. What's that? Failure to reclaim range. What's that? Rotation to the other side. What do we have here? Maybe they bid up. Maybe we see weakness. But we're positioned really well. We are positioned really well for this if we see weakness. So I paid myself some into that New York Open. We've got news coming here right now. So waiting to see what the wiggle is on this tape here. If they want to lift it up to 65, that's fine. I'll just stop out up there on the rest of my position. I locked in good money here already. SOXL finding a drive back up to its New York Open. Now, if they sell SOXL 82s, that would be a lower high versus New York Open versus VWAP. That would be a very good sign for us in the short. If they reclaim 82s on SOXL, that would probably be a bad sign. So far, that we keep rejecting the 40s. Like I said, I would not be long unless you can base above 40s right now. Otherwise, they're going to sell value, and that means a rotation of value can take place. So our TPs would be 86, previous day point of control, and down here, 130s. Right, so you don't want to buy too early here. One of you was trying to buy, I can't remember, did you buy 20s? I don't know, I can't remember where you bought. Without it turning around and basing. I'm just trying to help, guys. Like I say, every downstream, I will make money here every day, near enough. Some days I have red days. I will make money here every day. I'm trying to help you guys. Right? Don't try and front run stuff. Let it prove to you that your idea is right. Right? That's kind of the job that you need to do. Let it prove to you your idea is right. All right, that's a good drive on SOXL. Now, it needs to hold 82s. It's driven through it. If it pulls back and holds 82s, I'm about to stop out in the runners here. If it pulls back and holds 82s, that's your sign of strength, which would be this market pull back and hold 40s. All right, so if they hold 40s, that would be a good sign that we're going to go into a rotation long. If they lose 40s, then this is just a pop-up resold into. So here you go. This is the 82 check with the 40 check. They would have to hold this for you to be long, in my mind. They would have to hold this level here for you to be long, in my mind. Otherwise, It's nothing more than a reseller VWAP. Here's the 82 check, SOXL. This is the level, right? We're right at that level now. So if I was going to be long, I'd want to see absorption here. I'm not thinking long right now, so still got my short on. But if it holds, gives me a good indication to probably take it off, right? Because we're not going to fight. If it's starting to prove to me that we're going to hold, I'll take it off, because this is, for me, this is value area low now on the session on what I'm watching on NinjaTrader. Slightly different to TradingView, but it looks like value area low today is previous day's value area high. So it's a big level. And those 82s, SOXL, like we talked about, big level. Big level here. Alex, can you look at SNDK? It's driving all the moves like today. I'm not going to look at it right now, mate. I'm looking at SOXL, which is that as an ETF, right? It's all those names as an ETF. I'm watching SOXL. I think it's more important than one stock, right? The ETF's more important than one stock. The whole basket's more important. About to stop out in the runner here. It's kept me in by about 2 ticks there. I can't believe it hasn't taken my stop out. This might be the first time ever it's left my stop in. So that's a good base of 40. So those of you who wanted to be long, that was the level to be long at, yeah? Don't be fishing early. Look at the level. There's previous day value area high. It's about to take me out here. There's previous day value area high, right? You were getting long here as we were drifting down. Where's the better long? On that hold, right? A reclaim. There's the long. Now you can target up here for your longs, right? Whereas if you were trading here, you have to sit through all that pain. And here you can get long, you know, I guess into 40s and risk 32s. You can risk 10 points or something. I'm not long in this right now. It still hasn't stopped me out. But that's the level, right? It's the reclaim is the level. You were trying to buy on the flush on the way down. I'm still short side in this right now. And if you go and watch SOXL, if we show you what we talked about in the 82s, where are you, mate? All right, there you go. There's the reclaim of the 82s, right? This is the same thing. So here's your New York Open. There's your flush under. There's the reclaim of 82s, which I talked about, which becomes important, right? So you could bid 82s versus 81s and look for this drive back up, for example, on chips, right? Rather than, oh, I'll buy this and 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 eat a massive stop, whereas you could have just waited for that, right? Let it prove itself to you rather than guessing the bottom in it. At least that's what I do. I mean, you guys can do whatever you want, I guess. Just trying to help you. All right, stopped out on runner here. And that was a decent start to the day here. Right, and now I just wait. Considering these are my worst market conditions, not bad. Not bad. All right, some sellers here at 80s. I think they get popped out. I'll give you another readout. So Tesla, 1.65% down. Nvidia, 1.45% up. Microsoft, 1.15% down. Meta, 1.17% down. Google, 1.10% down. Amazon, 0.08% up, basically flat. Apple, 0.41% down. The move is coming from the broader chip names, all right? SOXL, 3.88% up. It was like 5 or 6% up at the opening drive this morning. It's starting to now bid. It bid off its lower time frame algorithm. It has reclaimed its New York Open. It has reclaimed the 82s, and it's trying to get going up to the upside. Its gamma levels here are 85, 90, and 200 is the big cool wall right now on SOXL. It doesn't have to get there today, but that's the big cool wall on it. Managed to grab it at the short? Yeah, nice. I mean, some of you might grab short, some of you might grab the long, which is great. But it's so key to not front run and be early. For me, like in markets like this, I'd like to play small size, get a feeler on. It makes me sort of, it's really from my small cap days of getting a feeler on and feeling out, how does this market feel? You'll just see me. I think I got a feeler here and I said, I'll stop out at 400. I just put a feeler on like here, and I said, if we hold above 400, I'll stop out. If we popped and failed, I would have added there and added there, right? I eat the stop, we come back down, I take the same trade again, we get that wash to New York Open, I cover a good chunk, we come back and we reclaim my original entry, I take the runners off. It's fine. As long as you got a stop, you got to know what your stop is and why. Can't be sitting and hoping. We're still making lower highs here. They're trying to absorb current point of control now. Range is pretty tight today. Again, this is the top side of the range. Make sure you're zooming out. All right, make sure you're zooming out. This is the hourly. All we've done right now is a failed break above and a trade back in. And now we're coming back to it again, right? This is your resistance and this is your support, right? This is our range. This is the rotation. Right, outside of this, sells. Above this and hold, buys. Failed breakouts, wash to the other side. Failed breakdowns, pump to the other side. Right, very simple. You can keep it. It's pretty obvious what the levels are today. They've made it very obvious from Friday and overnight. We're still holding the flow zones. One thing we will say, maybe I didn't talk about it enough at the open, we are running out of room on the daily right now. And on the weekly bowls, these are exactly the same. If we go to a weekly, we are above a weekly Bollinger. I mean, this is unheard of. This territory is unheard of. We do not do this on weekly. So maybe they have to get an exit at 30,000. We will see. But we are in uncharted territory right now. Are there any orders up at 500? Let's have a look for you. There's a 21 lot. I mean, there's a few, not much. Do we have gamma up there? I think we do, right? Yes, we do have gamma up there. So there's a cool wall up there. My stop is quite tight, a few points. No. If I got back in here and risking this high, and then we wash down and I move my stop break even and I take profit, that's my break even stop, right? That's it coming back to my original part, yeah? I move my stop once the market proves to me I'm right, okay? So if I take this and I'm stopping here, or maybe here, and we start to prove that I'm right, I can move my stop break even. Right? We're just in a range here right now. We're stuck. We can't get over previous week value area high. We can't get under previous day value area high. We are stuck between these at the moment. Insane. I started trading 2 months ago and this is the market I get. Hey, well, I mean, it's a good market to learn in. It's going to teach you to be on the right side of the trades and be disciplined with your stops, because if you're not, it's going to smoke you. Okay, pulling back in. Seeing weakness on this tape. Someone's come in. A big seller came in there at 85. So we have to watch now. Do they sell 72s and 60s again? Same level as earlier? Or is this flush just absorbed straight back up for upside push? Last week, what we saw is every flush like this absorbed. What I'm wondering is how long until the tape changes? What do I mean by that? How long do buyers get used to the same play over and over again and the tape shifts? All right, it happens time and time again. Once complacency sets in, they will often shift the tape. Question is, when? when do they shift the tape? Because they will shift it at some point. They will shift the tape. All right, just trading point of control here right now. Above both VWAPs, but stuck at previous week value area high. No acceptance higher yet. yet. So if you took the long of the 40s, you want to be paying yourself a bit here into 80s because this is your previous week value at a high. If you find acceptance outside of this and certainly above the 400s, then you can think about this up to 500, right? So if you are long here, you should be TP1 and you're looking to see this move here, but you should be paying yourself because we're in a range. Yeah, at the moment we're in a D-shaped profile. ES trying to get going here after going sideways for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes here. S2XL, nice drive after reclaiming 82s, yeah? So it's now approaching 85.50s. It's through that next call wall, so it's got a chance to take out the stops here at 86, 87s to get up to 90s on SOXL. Here it goes, it's trying. So right to the top side of the range. So anyone who took the long at 40s, was it 40s? Yes, it was 40s. Anyone who took that long at 40s, pay yourself some now, and then you're holding to see. If you base above this grey box, you can look for the 500s, basically. One of the swings in Discord is up 25% today. NVTS, yeah. It's a beauty. Quantum finding a bid. IONQ up with it. Rigetti up a bit as well. Yeah, I mean, that basket's moving. It will move with chips, right? They're very, very volatile, that basket. Did I or did I not call the bottom? You did not call the bottom, my friend. You called 320s, all right? We came down, right, to here, 300. You were long before it put the pivot in. You did not call the bottom. You have an ego telling yourself that you called the bottom, but you did not, in fact, call the bottom. You front ran it. And that's the problem. Your ego is going to get you fucking killed, mate, because you think you're right by guessing something before price has actually shown you, right? And that's a fact. That's a fact. I can sit here and call the top. I can take a short now, right? And this thing can go 5,000 points higher. And when it comes back under my level, I'll go, oh, didn't I tell you we're going to sell? Markets are a game of timing, not a game of your ego. They are a game of timing. Being long here and having it turn around here afterwards means you were wrong all this time. And now you go, didn't I call it? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. The bottom was the New York Open, mate. The bottom was the Gamma level. The bottom was not your 20 level. It was not. That was the buy opportunity, like I told you. A base above 40, like I told you when you were buying it. A base above 40. Where did the strength come? A base above 40. Didn't come at 20s. You got washed out. Your ego is dictating stuff. I guarantee you keep that up. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I've been you before, mate. I used to do what you're doing. I used to be like that. You do what you're doing. Good luck. I'll see you when you get absolutely tanked on something because you've guessed the bottom. And I'll be like, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you it wasn't? You know, ego. There's no space for egos in this, bud. Just trying to help. Like I said, I'm trying to help. I gave you the long entry. It was 40 on the reclaim. It was 82s on SOXL. It was not guessing on the way down. All right, getting stuck here. You can see all the sellers are stacked up here. 420, 425, 430, 435. I'm not stressing, guys. I'm not stressing. I'm just trying to help. You don't have to listen to me. I'm not stressing. I'm chill. I'm up I don't know what, $3,000 this morning off a market which is my least favorite market. I'm chilling. Don't you worry about me. Don't you worry about me. I'm good. I'm trying to help you guys. If you don't want to be here to listen to it, that's on you. Okay, so Soxal trying to hold the 85s now, as we talked about. If it can base and hold here, it will try and run those stops out at 87s. All right, they are defending 87s right now. 87 to 85 is the rotation. Break of 87s will lead to 190. Break of 85 will open up the wash back down. We are top side of this range. This is the grey box we talked about this morning. If you are long from 40s and you hold this grey box, you look very good for this move to 500 at that point. ES breaking, upside squeeze here on ES. This is all about chips now. Do they find a bid for strength? Because the Qs can't find a bid right now. The MAG can't find a bid right now outside of Nvidia. This is all about chips at this point. Where's crude trading? Well under those 100 levels. So I'd say energy has found a bid here this morning. A little quick look. Yeah, healthcare and energy has found a bid here. All right, this is where the strength's coming from. Healthcare, all right, Eli and Lilly, almost 3% up, and energy. Right, these are not in the Qs. This is why we're finding a bid in the ES, relative strength. Look at the Qs. All right, MU, AMD, INTC, TXN, these are your chip names. All right, that's Soxil. Those are driving. MAG, red, 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 flat, red, red. Okay, very different. Very different. Understand what you're trading, the breadth in the market, why it's moving. Is it wrong to want a 360 retest before I get long? I mean, you'd be dangling in range there. I get what you're saying, VWAP, point of control, but if you lose that, it's a full rotation. The long was here, honestly. That was the long. This was the long. That's your long trigger. Right? I'd almost rather let it break out hard and hold this node here now. And this. Right? For me, it would need to break out hard and hold that for a continuation trade. I don't want to get stuck the wrong side of this. Trump on in 10 minutes, is he? How's the shoulder? It's doing a lot better, actually. It calmed down over the weekend. I took quite a lot of anti-inflammatory drugs and started rehab on it yesterday. So it's a lot better, thank you. It's nowhere near as bad. I was very worried it was going to be a big tear. I don't think it's too bad. Very, very worried. Right. SPY wants that 740. Remember, that's your cool wall on the spiders we went over this morning. It's almost there. $40.30 entry short. What do I think? I mean, I think it's guessing and hoping. That's what I think. As long as I guess you could trade that as long as you put your hard stop above the current high if you're looking for a range rotation. But again, you'd be guessing the range, and we're starting to hold above the range. Remember, the grey box is the top of the range. We're just washing around. I'm just going to let this do whatever it is needs to do for a bit. SOXL back down to the 85s. Remember, the 87 to the 85s on that chip was the rotation. Is there a reason I didn't take the long? Because I was already short. Yeah, because I was short from here and covering some here. So I was willing for it to stop me out break even. I mean, you could argue I could have stopped out and taken this dip here. But that was the only reason. If I wasn't short and I took it all off here, then I guess I could have just, you know, got back in there. How did I develop discipline? By getting burnt too many times. Clicking buttons, front running, guessing tops, guessing bottoms, letting my ego dictate. Once you get burnt enough, you'll learn. You got to fall off the bike on your face. For me, I was a bad learner. I had to fall on my face too many times. Too many times. Too many times. All right, ES new high day still going. It's SPY wants that 740. I'm telling you. SPY wants that 740. 85 and 87. 185, 187 is your name if you're watching SOXL. Right, you just drifted under 85. If they start rejecting 85s, I'd have some slight concerns here for this market. Like you guys said, I think Trump's on in 7 minutes if he's on time. What's the VP on the right? Again, it's in chat, guys. It's anchored volume profile, anchored to the 9:30 open. Big gunners win yesterday. Oh, mate, I don't think I've ever had a heart rate so high in all my life. What a crazy final 15 minutes that was. And the final 2-3 minutes. Oh, my days. That was tense. That was a lot to take. Oh, my God. It was stressful. All right. SOXL is starting to reject that 85 there. I'd be very careful here that you might see a rotation all the way back down of value here because the chips cannot get back above the 85. So here's the first loss of rotation. If they start to reject here at 400, I would cut the longs. You need to see this hold 80s really and 70s, and you need to see it reclaim the 400s. If they reject the 400s, you probably want to get out of it. SPY coming up to that 740, so divergence still on the tape here. Tempted to look at a rotation here. This is my least favorite market though when we're doing this. Is Trump speaking? No, I don't believe so, not yet. Those sellers still not walking down at 15s and 20s. They're just sat up there at the moment. Here we go. It's the rotation. They can't reclaim 400s. So here's the move back down. Look at SOXL. All you got to watch is the chips right now. I'm telling you, because of the divergence. So big fail there, 85. Straight down to 83s. 2-point fail there. I want to see if pops start to fail now for a rotation or not. If they're going to rotate this or not. VWAP matters on SOXL now. There you go. It's the big fail. Couldn't reclaim the 400s, and that's a problem. And I'm going to look to see if I can get involved now. We've just rotated basically the whole of value again. And SOXL into its VWAP. And if it lets go of VWAP and chips start to sell today, this will be the start of, you know, a downside move in the market. Tried to make it clear with you guys all day. I've tried my best to explain what's going on and why the divergence, what we're looking at. Again, there's no strength in MAG. The strength came from the chips, and they are in a sell right now, and it's a dumpster fire off that 87s. They couldn't break. They lost 85s. They're at VWAP. So I'd expect a little shuffle and bid in a minute, and then if they resell 85s again, or even in front of 85s now, and if they resell 84s now, we keep dunking on SOXL. Looking to see if there's a way of getting involved here. Now we've rotated range again. So the moment they lost that shelf up there at 400s, that was it. Here you go. Weakness in the tape now. So I want to see if pops start to fail now, if there's a way to get involved in this. If pops start to fail now, it's a big sell-off from the highs. We've rotated the whole of value. So I'll watch 45s here. And then I'll watch the lows again. If we see a move under the grey box, definitely. But I'll watch 45s here. And I'll watch 70s as well. If they're going to rotate and stay heavy. ES coming right back down and in. All right, let's see if there's a way of joining this now. We can watch that New York Open. Seller got caught this morning at 311s. So there's big outside sell delta there. We move under 311s. He's comfortable again. Just a heads up. So seller's chasing down now to 350. So ideally, we get a little move back up to sell into. SOXL now under its VWAP. So ideally, it pops back up and they sell against the VWAP here on SOXL. And maybe we can see the same on the Qs. For this move back down, looking to sell all the way back down now. So I wouldn't mind a shift up to 50 here, fill these sellers. I'm not in yet. I want to see buyers come on the tape, get aggressive and get caught. Starting to see them come on the tape. So hopefully they can lift up towards 50 here, 30s. Can we lift a bit higher? No is the answer. They got absorbed straight away. There's going to be a breakdown here. I've joined in here. Have no choice. And see this tape shifting heavy. Here's the New York Open. This is, remember, 11s, under 11s. Everyone is stuck and sellers are very comfortable. Pay myself a little bit here. I'd love a coffee, fresh coffee, please. Thank you. All right, and if we shift under previous day point of control, then we're going to look for the rotation all the way down to previous day's value area low, at least overnight low, which is 245s. So I've paid myself a little bit here. ES coming into VWAP. SOXL back into its 180 level. I'm not sized. I'd like pops up and then to sell into again. So I'm watching for pops up to sell into again. We can see this level here, 290 is big. We lose this, we go negative on the day, and options will start to price that in for a negative move, I would have thought. Remember, Trump coming soon. So the edge of range here, here's the big gamma level here. Here's the sell through it. So you can take some profit into this, and then we can look for new lows outside this grey box, ideally. Here we go. SOXL getting absolutely cratered on here. So ideally, pops to sell so I can get some size on. Ideally, pops to sell so I can get some size on here. We did just sweep low of day. Yes, on that VWAP bounce. Ideally, we come up towards 40. Here's the New York Open. Can we lift a bit more? No. Hello, can you lift a bit more? No, too many sellers here. No interest in the lift right now. I might be wishful thinking we can get back up to 40 here. They are just getting stuck here, these buyers. Remember, the big seller from this morning came in at 11. There's a big level to watch, 311, and we're under it right now. So I'm short. I'm looking to see if we're going to come all the way down into here now. Certainly 245, 210s. I would love a lift up to 40 to see if I can get a bit more size on. ES trying to find a little bid on its VWAP. SOXL finding a little bid at initial balance low. IB low now set. So we want to be careful of this for IB rotation. But again, I'm short. Here we go. Here's the acceptance underneath. Beautiful. All right, here's our first cover point down here. There's your Globex, and we'll see if we can get under it now. It's not going to work. Do you see why I get sick of chat? All right, grey box to grey box. Did we find acceptance above? No, failed breakout, right? We're covering some here. We'll see if we can get acceptance below now. Guess what's driving it? Guess what's driving it? Just play what's in front of you. It's the best thing I can tell you. Play what's in front of you. Right, so we'll see. If they resell 290s, I'll consider an add. I don't really want to add down here, but if they are unwilling to come up to 40s, I'll consider an add down here. But we just hit targets. ES as well, and SPY came into PDC. So they hit targets as well. So we have alignment. Grab some dips on chips. Again, zoom out. They ain't dips, mate. They ain't dips on chips right now. Dips will be like a decent pullback, like a 50% pullback. Right? Zoom out. There ain't no dips right now. There's some shuffles. They're sprinkling hot sauce all over it. There ain't no dips on chips. All right, so back up to this New York Open 300s. Over that, they go to 340s. I'm tiny size now. I would like to resell it, but if we reclaim, then I'll have to cut because we're in a range. We've come from grey box to grey box. If we come under this range, we'll see acceptance lower. This New York Open matters. VWAP on SOXL matters as well. Remember, we did sweep lows. We completed the sweep of lows. There was excess under 255s. I want to see how we act here. Into New York Open and then 340s-ish. That level matters to me. Matters to me. Here's the New York Open. And we might have Trump soon as well if he hasn't already started. I haven't seen it tick off on the news blotter yet. Right, tap the New York Open. If they lift through this, they probably swipe straight up to 340. For those of you who are still short, just be aware you've got to manage your position here. ES going VWAP to VWAP. SOXL from IB low to VWAP. So it's done that in 5 minutes. It's just done the move in 5 minutes. Tyson trade possible. It is possible. Yes, it is possible. The Tyson trade from here. It is possible to come and fill some of this imbalance in. It's absolutely possible. Here they go. So here we said 300 break probably takes you up towards 340s. They are trying. Box to box. Look at these H1 candles. Crazy. Since Friday, really. All overnight, all New York session. Box to box. Great hold of PDC, PWC, though, on the spiders. I would say that. And we're coming into that level now. So here's the 40s coming up. Same levels as earlier, folks. It's like everything's the same as earlier. Nothing's changed. Straight back up to 40s. Here we go. So here's the 30s. They should come and search for 40s. Above that, they can come up to the 60s and 70s again. But this is the level now. 40s now matters. SOXL back through its VWAP. Does it hold a dip at VWAP here now? No, it's got back through. Just creating a giant range on those chip names. No follow through either side. But we have the trade there. Done with this now. And now we wait and see. Do they print all the way back up to the top side? On Trump news, I have no idea. Let's see. There's the 340 tap. Back down to the New York Open again. It's a crazy tape right now. Moves very, very quick. I will join in if we start to see acceptance under the grey box again, not beforehand now. Trump, Iran said to the US they've removed the nuclear dust. I'm considering renewing the Freedom Project. Oh, so what you're saying is what you said yesterday was a lie. Oh, okay. I don't like the deal. I don't like it. Hopefully the market drops a bit and I can buy it again. I like the deal. I bought the market. I like the deal. I don't like it until I buy it, and then I like it. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, 40s matter. It's crazy. It's crazy. You've never seen manipulation like at a level like that. It is crazy. Hey, we shouldn't complain. It provides huge opportunity for us. Thank you. I haven't, fella. Okay, here's the 40s, back inside the 40s, back inside range for the day. So if they hold dips at 20s now, they will try and rotate the whole range again. If they lose dips at 20s, this reprice can be sold into. It's, I don't know at this point. VIX is trading downside, SOXL is trading upside. We held PDC, we're trading at PDC now. I don't know at this point what it wants. We've just gone box to box and we're at the midpoint, so not really interested. If you zoom out the H1, this is not really a level of interest here. Not anymore. Certainly sellers keep coming in, getting absorbed here. Who's this part? 120 lot at 35, just got absorbed again. He would need to get back in the money. So we're going to come and test him at 35s and 30s where he got in. He tried to sell again. He just got absorbed again there. So there's a passive buyer on the tape trying to lift it at the moment. There you go. There's the lift. Stuck at 60s now. Remember, Trump's talking as a reminder. It's what I find crazy is, like, haven't we priced in best possible scenario already? I don't know what else we can price in with the war. I think we priced in best possible scenario. All right, back to previous week levels up here. Inside value, rotation of value, no acceptance outside of either of these. So fail breakdown under 27s, fail breakout over 400s. If we think about old levels, fail breakout over 400, fail breakout under 72s or 70s, we can just say. We're just trading edge to edge, edge to edge, edge to edge. Nothing else has changed. Flat now again and just waiting again for a new setup. But we are right. Just again, look at the hourlies. We're right back in the middle. Or we're coming back up towards the upside, in fairness. But we were just back in the middle. We're dithering around now. There's no acceptance each side of what we did on Friday at the moment. Things can change very quickly, especially with him talking. SOXL coming back down to its view up. So whether it catches a bid here or not on SOXL probably matters for the remainder of the session. Right, this is what I would be watching right now. What are we doing on this? Right, that's what's happened today. This is your pre-market high, right? Pushed, held, failed to make a new high, down, failed to hold it, sweep. This level here matters, 82s. 82s on SOXL matters. Hold that, maybe, just maybe, they want this, right? Can't hold that, they're going to start to get in trouble, right? Think about the size of this move we've had since this breakout. We have not come back and tested this yet. All right, so if they start to fail 82s and get washy, doesn't have to happen today, but this becomes available for this market. Otherwise, if they finish the rotation and get a squeeze, this is where they're trying to get up to. Big if, buts, and maybes right now, but that's what the market is. We're very frothy, and we're in big if, buts, and maybe scenarios. If the war finishes, It's a great hold on ES on PDC. Still a passive buyer on a tape, absorbing all these sellers. They can't get a breakdown yet. They keep trying and they're getting absorbed. But again, we're just in range, so I'm not interested at the moment. Not short yet. For me, it's not short or not buy. I mean, it was the, if you bought, it was the same level as earlier, really. It was this level here. Same level as earlier, really. Right. We were covered into this orange line. That was our TP. It just requires patience now. Just requires patience. SPY recovering, yeah, but it's not made a new high yet, but it held, again, it held 24-hour view up and it held PDC. That was, if you look at the dip, it was right into previous day close. It literally held previous day close, previous week close. All right, so if it can base above 39s on the SPY, then it can look for the move to 40. So far, we sold up there today. We're just repricing that kill candle at the moment. So really have to see how we move now, because it can still set a lower high here on SPY. It's quite dangerous. Market generally, I mean, this is why I don't trade range. I try and trade extremes of range only if I'm going to touch it, because you lose edge. For me, if we're in a liquidity building stage of the market, let's just look at the flow zones. Okay, let's look at VWAP. Is there a slope on VWAP? No. Okay, so we lose edge in the market here. It's telling you there's lower time frame algo, there's point of control, there's New York VWAP flat, there's 24-hour VWAP flat, there's flow zones over under. For me, you lose edge in the market when it does this. Edge comes when momentum comes in, when one side's stuck, not when they're starting to create liquidity. At least that's how I like to think about it. Still, there's a passive buyer here. Every time there's a big lot seller into each tiny little low pivot, like 75 lot just got absorbed at 65. Before that, 68 lot got absorbed into 35. And they tried again down there, 50 lot into 350, sorry, 55, 35, 65. There's a passive buyer just chomping away, trying to lift and lift and lift and lift and lift and lift. There's no momentum in this market. There is definitely a passive buyer trying to get upside right now, but we are not into a momentum play right now. We are in a range. Zoom out of your H1. That's what we're in right now. Rejection of this little low volume node up there so far. Just on the first attempt. Nothing else happening yet. They haven't got back up to the 400. Still inside of value. Still a player absorbing. Again, 60s being absorbed so far. So sellers need to get a breakdown under 60s and 55s to have any sort of meaningful control up here. And this is where they keep trying to sell. You can see they keep trying to sell 60s and 50s and they keep getting absorbed down here. They need to get a meaningful sell underneath all of this, and you're not seeing it. There you go, passive buyer again absorbing it at 60s. He's going to attempt again here to hold it at 60s. There you go, he just held it again at 60s. He's back on the tape again at 60s and at 55. So until this passive player leaves the tape, it's going to make it very hard for anyone selling. There you go, again he absorbed, and now he's trying to walk it up. You can see him on the tape. You can see him on the tape. He's very, very clear on the tape. Until he gets out of the way, I don't think you want to be thinking about trading their range back in. He would have to leave. You need him to vacate the market. Again, he's walking up now. certainly not a market I'm interested in anymore. This is they might want to sell this node here, this low volume node here, this grey box, but all the time there's someone who's buying every single micro flush. I am not interested in fighting it. How do I know he's doing this? I can literally watching him do it. It's on Bookmap. I'm watching him do it. There you go. That flush into 65s again. He just absorbed, and now he's trying to get aggressive to walk this back up to 90s. Literally watching him do it. There you go. Oh my God. Indicator, that you don't get an indicator to see buyers and sellers. You have to watch it on the level 2. You're not going to see it on an indicator. Again, it's on Bookmap. I'm watching it on Bookmap. You don't have to use Bookmap, but that's how I like to see them. That's where I can see them playing. Do I have a code for trade day? Yes, FZT. FZT is your code for all your prop firms other than Take Profit Trader. You can use code FlowZone. TPT right now until Sunday has 50% off, and it is 50% off month after month. All right, it's the best deal they've ever done. It would be the best deal they ever do. Prices for resets go up after Sunday, so if you want to load up TPT, now's the time to do it. Okay, into this low volume node, buyer still present on the tape right now. Here come the sellers. They need to get a breakdown, and at the moment they are unable to get it. There is someone absorbing every single micro flush right now, and they are relentless. This is like last week, relentlessly absorbing everything. I would not fight this tape right now. You need him to vacate. I've said it over and over again. If he doesn't vacate, you will not get a rotation. If he vacates, you will get a very nice rotation. So into the area where he kept trying to buy, look, he's here again. Right, if he becomes a seller, you'll have some fun. But he's here again at 65, 62s. There you go. He's trying to lift it again. He's still there. VWAP just held again. There you go. He's still there. SOXL back at that 85. If they base above 85 and get a break of 87 on the SOXL, it wants 190. It's a big level. This market will make its mind up soon. It's just, I think it's better just let it make its mind up for a bit. Back to where he was, 65s again. He's still there at 70s bidding. He's got endless pockets right now. It's probably Trump. It's probably Trump's cronies. Just don't see anyone bidding like this unless they know stuff. Oh yes, let's bid every micro flush and squeeze it up. Oh yes. Oh yes, and here comes the announcement. There you go, Trump. Want to pause federal gasoline tax. Well, you said that last night. Why are they regurgitating this again? Project Freedom would be part of a larger operation. We will deal with Iran until a larger agreement is reached. I mean, there's no real edge in what he's saying here. Still a buyer on the tape. There's no move under 60s and 50s right now. There's still a buyer on the tape. Yes, about the breakout of highs here. So it's coming up to its high of day, which is also all-time highs. Remember, SPY's trying to get up to 740s. SOXL still just holding around these 84 50s. Now spiking up to 85. Remember, 85 break on SOXL leads it to 87. 87 break leads it to 190s. That's when the market gets going. Like I've said, there is still a buyer on the tape here. I would not be playing the range fade right now all the time. There is someone quite clearly absorbing every single every single dip and trying to force the pop. Do not fight the tape. Once it shifts, you can think about it. Until then, I'd be leaving this alone right now. Everything's still flat. New York VWAP flat, 24-hour flat. Insider value. It's ugly. He's trying to bid 85 now. There's 85 bid. There you go. Oh, you just never seen anything like this for months. Well, for a month now. He's trying to bid 90s, 87s. Now he's bidding 80s. You got to think there's a blowout coming. He's absorbed that much. ES, new high of daybreak. You got to think there's a blowout coming here. He's absorbed that much. You've got to think he's just going to rip faces here. SOXL breaking 85. So remember, 87 break leads it to 190 on SOXL. We've talked about it time and time and time again. Why do the news outlets keep circulating the same story? You wonder, do they need an exit? So high of day here on ES. Remember, SPY's trying to get to the 740. That's its cool wall. It came just short of it there. They are still bidding. Now they're bidding 95s and 400s. All right, there's still a buyer on the tape trying to walk this thing up. There you go. He's still buying. It is non-stop. I cannot tell you enough. It's non-stop. If you're trying to fade this, you're going to get clapped right now. Non-stop. Now he's bidding at 95s and 90s. There's sellers now above 420s, 430s, 435s. ES breaking out. This thing is probably going to do something nasty soon. They've gone through the low volume node like it wasn't there. They can base back above this high volume node now and really go for high of day. They've done a lot of work to get up here. It is relentless. I don't know what else to tell you. If you don't want to listen to me, that's on you. But someone is bidding relentlessly here. Big seller coming in here at 405. The bids are down at 400, the whole number in this high volume node. Here's the whole number. There's the bid. They're still trying to sell this here. Still no breakdown. Big sellers coming on the tape here, and they have not managed to break under 400 yet. Still being absorbed. Here come huge sellers coming in here. And if they can't break below and hold price below, they're going to get clapped. $95s. So back into this low volume node. So buyers now will want to absorb this tape at 80s. As I'm still not touching this right here, folks. I need to see this guy completely vacate the tape for me to be interested. We can still hold this low volume node and reprint a higher day. ES is just holding its IB high right now. And we're still inside value for the day. It's still a rotation. There's the low volume node. We haven't even tested 80s and it's still finding a bid. There are aggressive sellers coming in. There's still absorption here. Here's the 400 check. And again, they get over 400, you're going to see a new high of day, I would imagine. So this is the level that now matters, this VPOC up here. Here's the 80 check. I will be interested in this market if I see this guy vacate. He's here at 80s right now. If he's done with it, it'll be fun. And ES at IB will matter. Here's where they last bid, is these 80s. absorbed 80s again. Hilarious. I'm not selling. I'm not going anywhere. That's what this guy's saying. Remember, they started selling at 405s, and you get a print back above them, and all those sellers will be caught. Just saying. There's the 80s hold back to the 400. And if they get back above 405, I think you're going to see all that sell side delta get a little bit squeezy and stuck. SOXL hasn't got through 87s yet. It got close. If that breaks 87s, it's going to go 190 and NQ is going to squeeze. And it just held 85s gamma. So it wants 190. It just needs to break 87s and run those stops on SOXL. Again, no trade for me up here. I'm not going to fight this tape. I think Trump must be done. I'm not seeing anything on the outlets for a minute. Kind of like, I don't see why they do news of stuff that's already been said. It's kind of weird. Nvidia 221, yeah, approaching 222, 3% up. The rest of the market's still red, right? Tesla 1.5% down, Nvidia 3% up, Microsoft 1.36% down, Meta 1.34% down, Google 1.60% down, Amazon 1/3% down, Apple 1/4% down. It's not coming from the mag. It's all coming from the chips. I hate to repeat myself, but that's where the strength's coming from. It is not a Mag 7 play. It hasn't been about the mag for a little while now. It's about the overinflated AI mania chip run. How much more juice does it have? SOXL holding 85s again. So it wants the 87 break to get to 190 on SOXL. If it loses 85, it comes back down to VWAP probably. It's the 480s is the level that you're looking at here. It's low volume node. Under 80s, you might get that buyer vacate the tape. We will see. Nas sells. I mean, not yet. You're like, maybe you came up to the top side of value, but like I said, this can still be absorbed, right? This can still be absorbed into here. Sellers cannot take control under here. Remember, where they actually came in heavy today was 60s and 50s, and we're not below that, right? We're not below that right now. There's still been a buyer on the tape. You would need, for me, you would need to see this buyer vacate. I've said it many times, right? This is into the 80s again. SOXL still holding 85 for now. It's a big level here. If they lose this, they probably come and test 60s, which is where the sellers got stuck. They're going to try. They're going to try and get to 60s here. They are struggling even to get down there. SOXL just bid 85 and held. It's like way beyond what I'd want to do right now with all the divergence playing out. If you're looking for a fade and SOXL is holding 85 and hasn't swept 87, it's very dangerous, right? It's holding 85. It hasn't swept this out yet. All right, it's holding this. If you'd seen that, then I think you can argue it. But at the moment, it's trying to do this. And if you're trying to fade NQ when this is trying to do this, you're going to get yourself hurt. For me, it's just a sit still and wait moment in the market right now. ES is right at its RBS zone as well, around the IB high. It's kind of just loitering here and holding. And SPY hasn't hit 740 yet. It came up to, what's its high of day? It missed it by 6 cents on the SPY. So they front ran that cool wall a little bit on the spiders. Again, chips just bid again off 85. They're looking for the 87 break. 87 break probably gets it to 190s. NQ will run if it does that. That's where the strength's coming from. It's where the strength's coming from for 30 days. Are they elevated levels? Yes, absolutely. Are sellers taking control of the tape? No. Has there still been a buyer on the tape? Yes. Have we moved below pain? No. Are buyers still comfortable? Yes. Are we in a range? Yes. Is there edge in the market? No. Am I trading it? No. Is that why? Yes. Understand what you're trading and why. SOXL looking for that 87 break here. If it gets the 87 break, it's going to look for 190s and NQ is going to fly. I'm fucking telling you. ES back above IB as well. They just absorbed there again. Still hasn't swept that 87s. Came right to the top side, didn't sweep it. It's very close. This is a very dangerous market here. This could do something absolutely wild very quickly. Trump's on again. Is he on again? So why are they circulating stuff again? Oh my God.
Prescription drug prices down by 400 or 500%, or depending on the way you want to phrase the question, you can say 400, 500, 600% Oz, and you can also say 80%, 70%, etc. It all depends on the way you phrase the question. I like the 500 better. And since we launched that website just a few months ago, it's called TrumpRx.gov. It's through the roof. Is that a correct statement, Oz? And by the way, you tell them that was your idea to quote Trump. It wasn't mine. The president did not propose that name, but everyone else thought it was a great idea. It is working spectacularly well, incredibly effective, and so many things. That there's not an American around buying medication who should not.
Here we go. 87's coming up. It's trying. It's very close. ES looks like it wants more. It's very tight here on the range. 87's now sold back down to 85s. It's so tight here. Still a buyer on the tape at 85s. And he's rebidding 90s now. This is... Why are they White House posting something saying it's live when it's repeating itself? I will enter if and when this market shifts and like shows me a narrative change or clear momentum. We are very, very, very tight here. 85 bid again and held on SOXL. Stuffed 87, rebid 85. Is very, very tight here in this market. I am not going to get myself clapped for anyone here. No, thank you very much. Time for a coffee. Well, my wife bought one in. It is time for a toilet break soon. So that maybe will get you. We're just box to box and we're tightening up this range here. You guys just want me to leave. That means you're all long looking for the trade up. You guys are hilarious. Let's see. Associated Press. They have a live link.
I think if you could explain the trick, let me know. But since we launched the website just a few months ago, over 19,000 Americans have used those fertility medicines and discounts and saved more than $15 million just in a short period of time, or a matter of weeks. The Council of Economic Advisors projects that the number will rise to $4.6 billion over a fairly small number.
What makes me bullish here? It's not that I'm bullish. I'm not anything. It's just that there's a buyer on the tape and they're trying to lift price higher, and SOXL is holding 185, trying to break 187 to get up to 190. It doesn't mean I want to be a buyer, but I'm not going to sell against a whale. All right?
They made it up in value, right? They made it up in value because the old story went.
Drug prices are down 500%. Yeah, so he says. I'd love to see some actual stats. Someone show me a drug that's the drugs average price of drugs that's actually down that much.
By far, we passed the largest tax cuts, not only for women, for everybody, but for women.
Maybe he paid for it from the pre-sales of phones that he took, which he's now not releasing. Just saying.
Also made a historic investment in rural health with $50 billion distributed across all 50 states, and that gives each state a lot of money over the next 5 years. $10 billion has already been distributed, and you see the results all over the rural part of the United States, which I'm proud to say I won by about 80% of the vote. And many states are investing in improving maternal health care.
Still they're printing. There's still a buyer, guys. There's a non-stop bid still.
Well, they suffer from Trump's derangement syndrome. They don't even know what they're looking at. They can't even see straight. But I have a new way out. I'm going to propose something the opposite of what I want.
Here we go. Here's the bid. They're still squeezing. All right, here's my bathroom break while they juggle around with this. I'll be right back.
I'm going to go the opposite. Whatever I plan, I'm going to go for it to tell proof what's in the file. That serious Trump derangement, which actually is a disease. I'm telling you, it's actually it's an honor. Today we're also enacting groundbreaking child care reforms to improve federal child care programs, including Head Start and Child Care Development Fund that goes to each state. These reforms will give states more flexible, lower costs, increase options, and empower parents to choose what care works best for them. There's a lot of options that you're going to have. Under this plan, you have, I think, pretty much maximum options. And that's what we're looking for, maximum options as opposed to that cost that if you were here a year ago, or if you were here like during the last administration, you're talking about a cost that was 8 to 10 times more expensive than what we go. Same exact prescription, same exact medicine, same care at 10%. Also free up child care funding for hundreds of thousands of additional children to support stay-at-home parents. In recognition of this ambitious agenda to support American
We're in favor of longs. I'm not in favor of anything. I'm telling you there's a buyer on the tape. I'm not buying the top side of the range because there's a buyer on the tape. I'm telling you what I'm seeing on the tape. I'm telling you that I'm not in. I'm telling you that I'm neutral. There's definitely a buyer on the tape. Doesn't mean I want to participate. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. Oh my God, let me get on my knees for you. What are these people? It's amazing. Okay, SOXL still failing at 87. ES now failing initial balance high, coming down back inside. We're back to these 80s where they kept absorbing price again. Still holding previous week's value area high here. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It's like, I want to be in your gang, so I've got to tell you how amazing you are. It's crazy. Back to 85. SOXL failing there. Still hasn't failed under 85 though, so SOXL can still print. Here's the 80s. This is where they last rebid, remember. If you lose 80s, I think then we'll revisit the 60s and the 50s. It's a big level here. This is where they keep trying to buy. There's the 80 buy again. Here he is. If he gets out of the way, then there's a wash down to, yeah, 60 is where sellers got stuck. So that's where the wash can be down to if they're going to do it. They've left a little sell side imbalance to 92s here if they want to fill it. These guys do not know what they want to do right now. They might need Trump to stop talking so that they can position. So here's the 80s still. Still they're bidding 80s right now. Now he's trying to walk up. Seller at 90s, bid at 80s, stuck in a 10-point range. This will break soon. They can't stay here for very long. There's the 90 break. Remember, there's an imbalance up to 92. Big seller coming in here, trying to force under the 80s. Big seller, huge seller. Here comes the break towards 60s. There you go. There's the big sell. There's the big sell. Right, there's the 60s tag. Now it matters what happens next because they've done the big move. Well, I say big. They've done the move. So how we act at 80s now becomes important. Previous week value area high just got absorbed off of the 60s. We just talked about that. See how quickly that happens? Once one side gets stuck. VWAP absorbing. ES nowhere near it. SOXL back down to the 85 again. Nothing's changed here, folks, by the way. If we sell through this, 85 letting go SOXL. That's your over-under. If they reject 85 and they wash, market rotates lower again. I can't listen to this. I'm sorry, guys. Just the gag. How does she not have a gag reflex? She's literally been on her knees for him. Okay, back towards these 80s. Still nothing's changed. 85's your over-under on SOXL now. All right, so back towards these 80s. If they sell 80s, we see that rotation back down into the 24-hour view up. If they reclaim 80s, you probably see new highs coming. There's the push to 80s. There's still a buyer here at the moment trying to get back above it. Here he comes. Oh my God, it is relentless again. Still not interested in this. It's too scary what I'm seeing here. I am not going to play with a whale. SOXL back under 85. These are big levels, man. Yeah, a Tesla is flying. You're right. That's a great pivot off the lows. New highs here. Reclaim that 420. That's your big over-under on Tesla. Previous day high now taken out on Tesla. You're right. So if they hold above 30 on Tesla, very, very strong. Very, very strong on Tesla. Nvidia holding IB high as well. And it's got a flat top. I don't think Hive Day is probably in there. I haven't even checked the order flow, but just from looking at it, I would doubt it. And SOXL back above the 85 again. It's the same dance. It's the same dance. Nothing's changed here. Nothing has changed here. It's the same dance over and over and over, and there's still a buyer relentlessly on the tape. That is just a fact. That's the only fact I know right now. What? She's got no gag reflex. I mean, It is wild though. It's like you can't open a sentence without telling him how great he is. I don't care who you support. Like, that's just weird. That's weird energy. VIX new lower day as well. I think this thing wants higher, but there's no way I'm bidding up here. Could I show my indicators on TradingView? Well, it's the Flow Zone Pro. There you go. That's it. Flow Zone Pro, and these are gamma levels. You have to pay for these. These are from Tanuki. Flow Zone Pro, you have to pay for as well. Okay, we're still going nowhere. We are going absolutely nowhere up here. It's very, very tight. We are going nowhere. Nowhere quick, anyway. We're rotating this grey box up here right now. H1 is starting to look much more bullish if it starts to keep absorbing up here. It's looking much, much more bullish because we've broken out above the sort of 350 range. So if they continue to hold 350 on the H1, this thing should really make a new high, right? Because we've broken out, pull back, they can hold 350 and look for new highs here. But you're braver than me if you want to bid that right now, I'd say, with what's going on. If you look at this, this is what I'm looking at on H, right? That's the breakout. There's your box in. There's the hold of it. That will be the completion of the move if they do this. That's what they're trying to do. I'm not bidding that to do it. No chance. There's just no way, given what I'm seeing, am I bidding that to do it. But that's what they're trying to do. Again, SOXL is failing to break 87, is back to 85s again. That's why I'm not bidding it. It's too dangerous. If they let go of chips, this thing will absolutely implode. That's what I'm worried about. The fact that we can't get above 87 on the chip names, for me, would be very worrying to look for a continuation trade higher here. Someone's going to get really hurt soon, one side of this tape. And it ain't going to be me. If you spam saying the same thing over and over again, you're going to get removed, mate. I'm not in Discord right now. I'm here live with you, aren't I? I'm not in a trade right now. I haven't been in a trade since we caught this flush down. I haven't been in a trade for an hour now. SOXL back above the 85s. The dance continues. This thing still doesn't know what it wants to do. They're just building and building and building. But I tell you what, there's still a buyer on the tape who's not vacated. He's still there. ES back to IB high. Big level on ES now. Again, SPY hasn't hit that call wall of 740. It came slightly short of it earlier. Still a buyer, relentlessly trying to bid up. And all these sellers under 80 just got stuck. SOXL coming back to 85 to back check it again for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes. We've been here flushing under, printing over, flushing under, printing over, but it can't get up to 87s. VIX still just getting hammered here as well. So Really, you'd think an upside lift is coming, but I'm surprised they haven't already done it. Certainly sellers are the ones that are caught right now. Tesla going crazy. It's up. What is it? Up 1% now. 432s. Was there news on it, or it's just like a print out? Assume there's news on it. What a boring day. Boring day. Yes, back above its Ivy high. I'm somewhat surprised we haven't done like a fucking 100-point rip up at this point, to be quite honest. They've got so many sellers caught. And ES is breaking, and SOXL's held 85 for the fucking millionth time. Here they go. They're going to try by the looks of it. So gross that they haven't done it already. Here they come. Here comes the buyer. He's like, buy, 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 buy. He's literally hammering it right now. Market buying. It's mad. Here he comes. Buying more. And he's buying more. A little flutter around this 400. He's trying to buy more and more and more and more and more. And he's trying to get this break to high of day. It is relentless. I cannot say it enough. Here goes SOXL. Finally, it's coming up to the 87s. Fuck me, that took long enough, didn't it? Right, let's see if they get the 87 break and they get you 190s, and then you'll get a new all-time high here on the Qs, I would imagine. If they can do it. A big if, but, and maybe, but that's what they're trying to do right now. And there's the break on SOXL. Go on, just go and do it. Why are you fannying around? You've taken all day to build the liquidity. Why are you not using it already? Get a move on. Because I can't trade all the time you're staying here. I don't care which way you go. If you can just do the break and either fail it or break and hold. But please don't keep dithering around here, NQ. It is like head on the brick wall. Oh my days. It can't get through the 87. I am shocked at what I'm seeing here. Insane. Yeah, same. I'm just staying flat until this breaks out. Either way, it's got to break out first. I'm not playing short before we break out. And I'm not playing long until we break out and hold. I'm not entering in this bullshit zone here where they've caught everyone. New high day ES. Still SOXL. Can't get through 87 for some bizarre reason. It should be breaking 87, and I think, like I said, there's a buyer on the tape. We're probably going to lift new all-time highs. They want up here at the moment. 87 still matters. Did you walk her again? Okay. Here they come. They're trying to get up here. I don't like that chips still haven't broken. It's a bad sign. It is a bad sign that the chips still haven't broken out. It's a very bad sign. Where am I getting my mag screener? What do you mean? It's here. It's in my list. Right here. Here it goes. Still chips haven't broken. This is quite something. Very surprised. I think it's a matter of time. You should be getting a new high of day here. They've done so much work, these buyers. I'd be very surprised if you don't get an IB break here. Yes, new high of day. Chips just completely not moving. Insane. Do you think there would be a huge flush to the downside tomorrow instead? I'm not Nostradamus, mate. How would I know that? How would I know that? We won't get a flush until someone's stuck. At the moment, there's a buyer on the tape, isn't there? I've said to you all day, right? Since here, there's been a buyer on the tape, relentlessly trying to get the breakout. We can't predict tomorrow. What's the point of me saying yes or no? It's irrelevant, isn't it? We're trading today. We can only look at price and volume tomorrow. We will trade whatever we have set up tomorrow. We don't know what that is, but right now we know that there's a buyer on the tape and they're trying to lift all the way up here. That's what we know. We know that chips should be breaking 87, but they're not, which is bizarre, but that's what we know. How are they not breaking 87 here? Like, what are they playing at? It should be such an easy move here. I am shocked that they haven't broken out through this. The moment that comes, I think NQ swipes up. Here it comes. There, 87. Now, you should print up from here. They shouldn't want to come back like this. This is not a good sign. But here's the swipe, so you're probably going to get these 500s now. SOXL can't hold a bid. I am shocked that it can't hold a bid over 87 right now. After all that work. Right, 875 lot seller at 450. Just casual. Just a casual 875 lot seller at 450. You have a buyer stuck at 33s. SOXL cannot print above its 87s right now. I'm quite kind of shocked about that. What a weird, boring day. Massive day of divergence. I can't wait till this market's back in sync with itself, until we stop worrying about these fucking gamma names squeezing and we can actually trade in alignment. Okay, buyers will want to hold now a bid at 410s to 400. If they can't do that, it'll be a fail break, which would be bizarre, but we can't hold a bid on SOXL above 87. For whatever reason, they can't do it. They've done all that work. I don't think there's been a big exit there, but they can't do it. So if this is a failed break, if you're playing the IB high trade, you're playing back down to VWAP again. I'm not in anything here. SOXL. Not so. No, XOXO. SOXL. Oh my days. Okay, if they can't hold 410s and 400s, it will be an exit for those buyers, means a fail break. But it would surprise me after doing all that work if that's all they're going to get. It's a good auction at the highs, I'll say that much, but we're still above price, so I don't really want to, above volume, so I'm not really looking for a reversion trade here. Above this grey box still. There was a good exit up there. There was a good exit up there, we'll see. I am very surprised that this doesn't want to hold a bid higher right now. Giant range day. I mean, it is, but we're outside, right? So we're not an inside bar. We're outside, aren't we? Right. So we're outside of previous week and previous day's value now. This can be a trending market. We've created some liquidity here, no doubt about it. But if we hold this, this can keep going. We're now outside of these levels, and we held pullbacks this morning into this box. All right. So they held this. They're now outside of this. They can hold this and continue now. They can hold the top side of this and continue. If they fail this, I mean, I'm not interested in taking a short until we come underneath all of this. It's far too dangerous now because an H1 pullback can keep holding this. This is where we tried earlier. We took this and we took this. I'm not having another go now that they've built out above it. We need to come below all of this for me to perk my interest in the short at all. This can keep going higher now. They've done a lot of work. Right, there's been a buyer done a lot of work to absorb absolutely everything today to move price higher. Still think it wants more. Did I get my tickets for PSG? No, I find out today on some other tickets, which are trying to see if I can get something cheaper than dropping $15,000 on a ticket. Market's gone to sleep. It completely dried up here. 25 minutes left. It's dried up here. 410s and 400s matter. If I was a buyer, I'd want to see it absorb that. If they can't absorb that, I'd be concerned. Any chance of a dump back to low of day? I mean, there's always a chance, mate. I mean, there's always a chance. But at the moment, you have created a huge amount of volume in here, and especially in here, haven't you? Right, and we have hit our main target, which was this on that short, and you've built this liquidity out. All right, and I think it's trying to do this. I'm actually quite surprised they haven't already done it. I'm quite surprised they haven't already done it. I'm very surprised that this is buggering about so much. Right, it's done so much work to hold this pre-market level. I'm surprised it hasn't broken and gone for it. I'm very surprised it hasn't broken and gone for it. It's swept and come inside, which is not a good sign for you guys who are long and trying to hold on to NQ. But like I said, I don't have a position right now. Not really interested in what I'm seeing. As we know, Alex doesn't like trading ranges. I think we want to come up here, but I don't like that we're being so... If the market leader, right, is being so lackluster, it doesn't fill me with confidence. SPY to 740, yeah. Yeah, well, that's your big level. If it bases above that, you know, maybe it's got room, but that is your big call wall. You've poked above it, come back under it. You're right there again now. On ES, C3, yeah, it's 450, 455 on ES. Those are the only things left right now. It doesn't look great, does it? I mean, it's very, very, very slow right now. It's very slow. Slow grind back upside. You don't want to fade slow grinding markets like this. You do not want to fade. Like I said, if there's a buyer on a take, why would you try and position against him? We're tiny little fish. We don't want to position against someone. Yeah, Tesla is flying. 2.25% up now. Was there news on that? Let me have a look. I assume something's positioned that move. Just a breakout, man. Just a curl and break. This market's something else, man. Just a breakout. You don't think it wants 750 at this point. This is non-stop. It's hilarious to me how much this market feels like a small cap nowadays. It's actually quite wild. But there we go. SOXL's at 187. It is, but look, it's not breaking out of it. It's bizarre. It can't break out of it and get going. Tesla released a price target for the stock. Well, Tesla wouldn't release the price target. It would have to come from someone else. Who released it? One of the firms. Elon Musk reportedly joining President Trump in China this week. There you go. Do I include overnight session when I'm looking at previous day volume? No, not when I'm looking at previous day. All right, into this 300 lot seller at 35, and then there's an 882 lot seller at 450, and where they're trying to get up to is up towards the 500. And again, SOXL can't break 87. It is bizarre. It is bizarre. We're going sideways to close. Well, we're going in slow drift higher at the moment, but it is a tighter range day. It's still pretty good. We've had 200 odd points, but it's just like there's no edge. For me, there's no edge here. Thought they had beef. Yeah, so did I. So did I. Followed your advice today, and I'm up today at about 8:40. I heard you say you're playing with house money. Just curious if you trade 9:30ish, the very first setup. No, I didn't. I traded yesterday, a little bit yesterday. That was the house money. In my A test, my previous week value area high is 2,900. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Mine isn't. You don't think I would have traded yesterday, mate? Well, I did. Traded Sunday. Markets are open on Sunday, believe it or not. I traded a little bit of Globex. Still they're lifting, still there's a buyer. You can see, just like if I show you Bookmap, like absolutely everything here. If we just rewind, like all these sellers down here stuck. All right, every drift, big sell and instant response, and then they try and sell back down to lows. And if we think about this as a pivot, instant response. All right, everything here sold into all day long, instant response to move higher. And look at every low, response, 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 sideways, little wick, response, and every seller is just slowly being walked up. Look at all this liquidity just gently walking the market up, and they want to come and take out all these levels. And really, they probably want 500s or 495s like we talked about. You cannot fight a tape. When you see this on a tape, you do not want to fight a tape where there is a very obvious buyer saying, hey, I will buy everything you're willing to sell to me. It is just suicide to do that. It's why you've heard me say, do not fight him. It is a whale on the tape. There was a whale on the tape last week doing the same things. We cannot fight them. Alex, when you mark out the boxes, is there a minimum width you have? Often mine are too small. No, there's no such thing as a minimum width. They're based on volume. That's it. Whatever volume dictates, however wide they need to be, that's how they are. If they're small, they're small. If they're wide, they're wide. It's based on volume. Guess what? 87 just got sold into again. It's bizarre. I just showed you how I saw the whales. I literally just showed you on Bookmap. Absorbing absolutely everything. Do I always look at SOXL daily? No, not always. But again, I'll go over this. What is driving this market in the Qs? Is it the MAG? No. At the moment, it's not the MAG. Historically, it's always been the MAG. What is driving the market right now are the semiconductor names, which just got tanked into again. Right, so if we go into the semiconductors and we zoom out on a daily, guess what? Found a bid which lifted this market higher the last 30 days. Okay, this is what found the bid, all right? This is your AI mania. So if this is causing the squeeze in the NQ, what do you think we have to be aware of? This, right? If the MAG's doing this, do we really care about the MAG? No, what we care about right now is the strength in the market, which is coming from semiconductors, right? This is where it's coming from. It's as simple as that. Look, this is your Scandis, SNDK, all right? This is this, all right? This move. This fucking insane move, right? This is this. This is MU, all right? This move. This is AMD. This move. Why do you think the Qs are moving higher? It's these. If these have a day where they start giving back, all right, then we need to be aware of it. Because if we look at, I don't know, your Teslas, I know Tesla today is moving up, but are we breaking out of all-time highs on Tesla? No, we're stuck in here, right? If we look at like Softy, are we breaking out of all-time highs? No, we're stuck in here, right? The MAG, right? If the MAG was up here doing the drive, we'd be watching it more, but it's not, all right? I know it's worth the most, but it's not. It's not what's causing the move. If we think about the basket causing the move, it's not the MAG 7, right? It's the semiconductors. They are what are dictating the moves each day in the Qs. They will probably do a blow off top and calm down at some point. We will see. And then we'll probably see a rotation out of those back into software names, I would imagine. And then out of those and back into energy. And we're going to keep seeing the rinse repeat. Is energy following chips due to AI? It depends what you're looking at. So if you're looking at like UUUU and the nuclear stuff, yeah, there's an argument definitely for that. There's an argument that the administration would put something on in which suits stuff like that more. Then you have to think about the bottlenecks in AI. Like, what are all the bottlenecks outside of the chips? Like the precious metals that might be used, the energy used for it. Yes, absolutely. The data centers, like these are the things like, why do we have, right? If we think about MBTS, right? Why is this running? That's the wrong one. NVTS, I'm sorry. All right, quantum. All right, think about this move. Why? There's the breakout. All right, we're long in this right now. There's the breakout. If we think about IONQ, these quantum names, you've got to understand what you're trading and why it's starting to get going. All right. The rest would be on here. Rigetti, starting to try and get going. Right, you have to just understand what's moving and why it's moving. Like, it's really important you understand what you're trading. Right, if we're trading NQ, we are really trading tech. That's what we're trading, right? If you're trading the S&P, you're trading everything, right? If you're trading the Dow, you're trading industrials. Got to understand what you're trading. Everything I'm calling is in your portfolio. That's awesome, Mitch. I'm happy to hear that. Look at FCell. Yeah, so that's a great example of like a bottleneck. Would be a company like FCell. Okay, SPY still at that 740. How long we got left? Only 10 minutes left, folks. We're basically done here. And just those, like, what do we have? 2 or 3 trades today, but all looking at the same thing. Trump's still talking here. Republicans should abandon midterm elections. It's because you're going to get absolutely destroyed. US-Iran ceasefire struggling and on life support. All right. Oil keeps rising with Brent crude surpassing 104 per barrel. Ceasefire in critical condition, unbelievably weak. Disappointing about the Kurds for not joining in. Iran's leader did not pledge to avoid nuclear weapons. Trump says Iran agreed with the US and then changed its mind. I mean, I feel like that's been the case for a while now. Yeah, SOXL's got going. 190 now. So it's above the 187s. It will look for the 190. It's got going. Finally. Big seller moved up, yeah. He's probably the same guy that was spoofing. If anyone was watching Globex last night, there was a 700 lot spoofing last night. So 465, you've got a 300 lot. 480, you've got a 800 lot. They want this gamma level, this C1. Do I have Bookmap video on Bookmap and how it works? I have a course on it. Nothing for free, though. Slow grind and drift higher. Starting to see some form of slope develop in the VWAPs now. They're trying. It's very mediocre and slow. Flow zones supporting bids now. It's very slow today. Trump was responding to questions on Iran in the healthcare event. Yes, well, this is what happens with all events. No one... If you watch any of the media, they never actually ask about the event at place. They ask about the bigger events. You know, the astronauts were in. They didn't ask about the astronauts, did they? They asked about straight away on the Iran stuff. That's all anyone cares about. Oil prices, Iran, midterms, inflation. What was my Globex trade? I took a bid. Where is it? I took a bid here. I think it was here. Is it one of these? What's the time? I'll figure out the time. It would have been this one. Took that bid. What is it? Finally, they're getting going into lunch. It's taken them all day. to try and get this move up. If you didn't see, by the way, I should say, if you didn't see, I am running a competition on my Twitter right now. That big competition for one Lucid Flex account and a 34-inch gaming monitor and a free beginner to advanced course. Right, worth well over $1,000. So head over to my X if you haven't already at Flowzone Trader. You can enter there. It costs you absolutely nothing. Should have mentioned that at the start of the show. It's pinned right now to the top. It's pinned so you can see it. Here comes the squeeze, and they're pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. They're trying to fill these guys at 65 and then the 480s. And SOXL finally trying to get up to that 190 that we talked about. I don't understand why they dithered around so much. It's kind of bizarre, but there we go. That's the market sometimes. I'm somewhat surprised they're just not absolutely ripping this higher very quickly. It looks like they're trying now. There's a buyer coming in now. They're taking quite a while to do not the biggest move here. This guy pulled his bid at 65. He's added up at 95 now. So they're still trying to drag this higher. So pulled his offer. All these sellers are just moving higher, trying to drag the market up. Still very, very aggressive players on the tape here. Here they go. So this is the level. This is your TP if you were long from any of these levels down here, or even if you took this, I guess. These are your TPs. 495. We can think about the IB expansion today of how high it will be if they're going to do it. Yeah, 500s, 595s. Whoa, that's quite the effort. Muddy waters, I love that. Would you recommend to buy big TPT like 150 or 350Ks? How many accounts do you manage struggling with this? Very personal question. Really depends what size you like. 50Ks are much easier to pass than the 150K. So what are your stats? What kind of size do you like trading? How are you with drawdown? Like, these are questions you need to ask yourself. I don't have the answer for that, my friend. It is all about what you're comfortable with. You want to trade inside the pocket. If your pocket is trading 50Ks, trade the 50Ks. Obviously, the 150Ks with TPT are great because you get daily payouts. All right, so you can have big winners and pull big daily payouts of the big ones, but it's a personal thing. What do you use on Bookmap to confirm a large bubble was a trap buyer or seller and is not an indicator of continuation? Well, you'd have to be looking for the end of an auction, wouldn't you? So you'd need passive selling on that aggressive player and price to move away and under a key node or something like that. You won't know on the first tap in. It's always about the reaction. Trading is always about a reaction to a level, not a level. It's about what happens next. So like right now I can see a big seller, market seller just came in at 468, right? If we stay heavy under that, he's comfortable. But if we get back above 468, 470, guess what? He's going to be very uncomfortable and we're going to search for the liquidity higher. So it's about what happens around big lot traders. That's all it's ever about. That's all the market's ever about. It's the reaction to a level, not a level, a reaction to a level. SOXL still going. It wants the 190 like we talked about. So we're right back at this guy's entry. Now, if he can force a micro flush here, he'll look to test the big buyer who came in at 450, 444, and 439, right? But if buyers keep absorbing where we are now and get a print back above 68, we'll see a new high of day. So this is like a battle of this big seller who just came in and these big buyers who are down at 450 and below right now. So there's a little imbalance down into 52s. Remember, the big player, the breakout buyer, came in at 50, and then there's been huge lots of buying all the way down to 30. So they're going to try and test this big buyer at 50 to see if he's there right now. That's their play, right? And if he's there and they absorb, then you know what happens. So 50 is the level here. I can show you right here, right? This is where all the aggressive buying took place. This is the imbalance, right? And this is the level, 50. So 50 down to 30 is where we've seen very aggressive buying. We saw a very aggressive seller up here at 68. We're filling this imbalance. The reaction between 50 and 30 now is what matters, all right? Is there a reaction? Is there passive accumulation down there when we come in? Or have they got their exit already? Are they done with it into lunch? So imbalance filled, next imbalance is down to 50. Some accumulation down here. There you go. It's a reaction. Didn't even get to 50. And if they trade back through 68, then we will see a new high of day. Why? Because that's where the seller came in. So if he stops out, he'll cause the move up, right? And he has some decent size up there. We're coming up to test that seller at 68 now, like we just talked about. If we get back above 68 and he stops out, you will see a squeeze for a new high of day here towards 500. This is the battle right now. It's between 350 and 368. That's the battle right now, where the buyer came in, where the seller came in. Where the buyer came in, where the seller came in. You won't see it in here, but that's where it is. Back to 68. They're looking to squeeze out for a new high of day here in my mind. Right at his level, 68. If they break this, they're going to go for a new high of day and a rip. And they're going to try and get to 500. This is their target. Hey. So the seller at 800 lot at 480. If he runs away, you probably get a squeeze through him. You want to be very careful that it doesn't peak out there. So 480, there's an 820 seller. 495 and 500, there's 300 lots up there. So remember, to get through them, you're going to need big market buys. You're going to need an 818 lot to buy here to break 480. Probably does happen, and you probably see a big squeeze out here because we're approaching the 190 on the Soxel, like I talked about. So testing this 800 lot. He's still there. He is still there. He's legit. He's an 820 lot at 480 right now. So I'd say if they hold price above 68, the seller is stuck. There will probably be an exit soon for these buyers, though. They're coming back up for this 480. I'd be very surprised if we don't just swipe up to 500 here very, very shortly. A little bit front running in front of 480. Soxel into its IB high. I think we're going to see a breakout here on this market. I think Soxel's going to go. Big buyer trying to step up. They're trying to force this squeeze through. Here comes the 480 test. So if you've been long, Pay yourself between here and 500, right? Don't be a dick for a tick when you've seen like huge seller up here. I think we will break, but you want to pay yourself. It's a big move. Remember, if they lose 68, the seller gets back in control. But I reckon you're going to see like a fast move up soon. You might see a little pullback off Soxil into this high day, and then it might go. We'll see. VIX starting to turn around, so you're very close to your sort of peak position. And also, ES is into that 750 whole number, 757, 450, sorry. So you're there or thereabouts. So if you've been long, you do want to lock a good chunk of your change in here. Here's the 68. If they lose 68, they can come back down to 50 again. But if they hold 68, they'll try and trap and go. This is where the seller came in, remember? So here's the pullback off the IB high on Soxil. I'm interested if they trap and then reload, swipe up, and then if they're done for the day. Or if they're really just going to put a wall up and sell away from it. So if they lose 68, there's an argument for it to sell back down to 50 and test that. But there's a reclaim of 68 instantly. This is what I'm thinking. I reckon there might be a wiggle back up. There's a new 100-lot seller coming at 75 now. Coming a bit early at 75, so he's trying to unload a bit of his position in front of that 800 lot. What position am I looking to enter? I'm not looking to enter right now, my friend. I'm not looking to enter right now. All right, here's a 100 lot. If they break through 75, then they can go for the 80, and then through 80, 800 lot, you'll see a squeeze up to 500. The auction can very well end up there. Because to get through 80, you're going to need an 800 lot buyer. And to get through 500, you're going to need another 600 lot buyer. Which means basically between 80 and 500, you're going to have 1,500 lot buyer on the tape. So just think about that in terms of delta. That could be the end of the auction once we're done with that. So here's the move back up to 80. This was the little trap I was talking about. Here goes Soxil going for the high of day. This is exactly what I just talked about before it happened. I think you will see a swipe up here very, very shortly. They'll come and clean out all this liquidity, I would imagine. And then that will probably be the exit. I would be done with it. Where do I see the 800? Right here. 820 lot. And above them a 300 lot and a 300 lot. Big size. They're going to come and squeeze this out and try and fill this all the way up to here very, very quickly if they can. That's what they're looking to do. So they're tapping on him. You might see a bit of front running, and then it's going to explode very, very quickly and swipe up, I would imagine. And then that might be the end of the auction if it can do it. Very surprised I haven't already done it, to be honest. You can see him on the book here. Oh, I thought he left then for a minute, but we just juggled down. Soxil new high of day, pulling back off it. Didn't quite get to the 190. It wants the 190, folks. It definitely wants the 190 on SOXL. Getting very tight up here. I'm very surprised they haven't already just swiped it. It's a bit like earlier. They're taking a long time. Obviously, if it goes without saying, do not be buying up here. All right, you should be selling into it. You should be selling your partials into it if you took the breakout of the grey box or bought the lows this morning on the 40s reclaim. Do not be buying into this. But here we go. They're going to try and fill this 800 lot now, and then they should swipe quickly up through it, and that needs to be your exit on 80+% of your position if you were long. Where's the pullback? We're not really in pullback mode now. We're in grind mode, mate. Very shallow pullbacks. SOXL cannot quite get to that 190. It hit 189.83. It's very, very close, which is probably in line with this. Very, very close. We're into lunch now as well. If they don't get this break soon, you're going to see a drop straight back down to 430s. What's the biggest lot I've seen on NQ? Probably rollover lot sizes, like thousands of lots. An 800 lot is big, right? That's really big. But on rollover, we do see thousands of lots. Still, look, every little dip's still being absorbed. They need their exit. They clearly need an exit. But if they don't get this break soon, if they don't get this move soon, then you're going to see a flush right back down into all of this. We're very steep up here. But I think you're going to see this and then that move. But if they don't get it soon, they're going to get caught. You are in lunch now, after all. What's rollover? When we roll over contracts every 3 months. Quarterly rollover. So see this buyer stepping on the tape? See these horizontal lines underneath price? They're trying to bid back up. That's that buyer again. They're looking, I'm telling you, they just want one swipe up and an exit. It's what they're looking for at the moment. But when they look for something and they don't get it, it's when, look at him just stepping on the tape. Look, see how he's lifted and lifted and lifted? He's trying to force price up. We're coming right into it now. See this guy who's buying here, buying here, buying here. He's trying to force price, trying to support the bid at 70 sort of sevens here to force this break of 80s. And once they get through 80s, you probably get a swipe and then it's probably done. And that is going to time out with the 190s on SOXL. So it's, everything is related right now. Here they come. Bit of front running. I mean, if I saw that as a buyer, I'd be pretty concerned about the size of it. I think you will get through it. You just get one player who would just fucking do something stupid and just run it straight through, like just like this. So it's 240. He's legit. So 250 lot came in there. So you got 680 lots left to fill. I think you will get it. But this will be the exit. You want to be out of your position in this swipe. When you start to swipe up, you want to be out of this position because you're talking about a huge amount of size up here who would get stuck buy side. So 247 lot buyer up there, currently caught. I still don't think it's done. I think they will want to fill this liquidity. I think they just need one little rocket and then be like, right, we've got our exit, we're done with it. That's what I think the whale will do. I think they'll look for a swipe, get the exit and be done with it. They've obviously, whoever the whale is, he's already sold 250 lots into that push, but he's got another 625 lots left to sell up there if he can. What are the chances that iceberg's a non-stop buy? I mean, only when it's at one level, right? An iceberg will stay at a level and keep being absorbed into that level. That's not what we saw. We saw a buyer walk up, aggressively walk up. Slightly different. Slightly different. That's the whale taking profit. It could definitely be that, couldn't it? I mean, we're talking about, if you think about what you've seen on the tape today, right? Down here is where we said we've seen absorption more recently, where we had this box. Hopefully you guys can see that on the screen, where we had this box, yeah? So if they were buying relentlessly, there's the big sell. I'd say there's a couple areas where they bought at today. Here, that sort of 340-ish kind of level. This pivot here, oh, it's the same. All right, no acceptance underneath, drive back out, and then they rebid sort of 380s. And since then, right, it's been relentless bid up, right? So if you had that much size on the tape, where are you looking to exit? Well, he's literally broadcasting where he's looking to exit right now. He's looking to exit at 480 and 500, right? And a little bit at 95. And we also know, here they come, he's going to have one more go here, and they're going to have one more go to squeeze through this to get up here. Is what they're looking for. You need to be, like, if you've been a buyer today, you need to be exiting a good chunk of your change up here. I'm telling you, folks, because we're going to have huge buy side stuck up here when they break. Huge buy side stuck up here if and when they break. Yeah, I mean, this is probably his exit. Yeah, I mean, that's what he's broadcasting right now. I want to sell here, and he needs someone to buy into him to sell, right? So for him to exit here, he needs a 625 lot buyer, right? He's at a 250 lot buyer. He needs another 625 lot buyer, because remember, he needs to sell against actual liquidity. So he's a passive seller. He needs someone to market buy 621 lots. So they've moved a little bit down now. That's what he's looking for. I think he will get filled, and I think you'll see like a quick spike up, and then that will be the end of it. This is what I'm just waiting for before I leave over lunch, to see if it happens quickly, so we can see it together on the stream. Here it comes. So they're going to try and see a massive market order come in here and lift, and then that will probably be the end of this auction for a while, I would imagine, unless they do something absolutely ridiculous on the tape today. I can't see us getting really above. I can see something like this, and then that happening this afternoon. If they price it, well, they have got something in up here at 700. I mean, we're asking a huge amount for it to do that, another 200 points, but we've seen weirder things in this market recently, haven't we? We have seen weirder things in this market. They're still trying. They're really trying to fill him. 190, remember, is the level on SOXL. You are 5 cents short of it right now. You are 5 cents short. That's the level on SOXL. Did you tap right into it? You got up to 95s, yeah. Or 94, sorry, his highest print of the day. There's definitely a big wall there. I think it's coming. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Half a second. Trying to call them in to do it. They filled a bit more there. How big was this guy? 343 lot got filled up there as well, just in front of 80. There's a lot of buy-side liquidity stuck up there now at 80. So if they can't get the break soon, this will come right the way back down to 50s and 35s. I'd be surprised if they don't get the break first, but we'll see. You want me to go and get a coffee and then come back and we'll see it at 500? I've got my coffee here, though. Still got some left. Been stuck at 620 for a while. Yeah, but there was another seller came in here. So if you look here, at this high, we had a 215 lot. And then at 78, so at 29478.5, we filled another 343 lot. All right, and now we're back down to where that seller got stuck, 68. Now, if this seller gets comfortable under 68, you will see this crack back down into these levels here. Oh, I can't draw it for you. 68. We'll see a crack back down into here. This is the low volume node. Remember, buyers now stuck at these highs. I am somewhat surprised they haven't done this before they do this. But if they can't take out this high, then what I think you'll see is this, and then they'll come back for it later. I don't think they leave this there so clean. I think they want to finish this auction properly and leave a lot of people stuck. Well, I'm getting ready to leave over lunch. I've tried to sit here with you. Oh yeah, you don't see the chart. Okay. 68 is where this strong selling started here. Right? So if we think about these sellers, I'll draw it on for you. Clips. If we think about all this selling here, and here and here, right? That's that kind of 68 level. That's the level that matters. I think they want to finish this auction higher first, but if not, if 68 gets comfortable, we can afford to come right back down into this pivot. Right? So all the time 68 is uncomfortable, they can try and drive up here and finish it. If they can't finish this auction higher and they need to reset, they will come back down into this zone here, 40s and 40s, sort of what I guess 50s to 30s, right? Down into here, where that would be your RBS zone, right? Resistance became support. We'd expect them to hold a bid down there if we came back in there again. SOXL hit 189.95. Couldn't finish the auction at 90s. Couldn't finish the auction at 90s. No giveaway. Where's the likes? I don't know. Let's have a look. I haven't looked today. Probably short because I haven't talked about it. Normally short when I don't talk about it. Nowhere near. Yeah, nowhere near. So we'll have to do the give. We'll roll the giveaway over to tomorrow. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. All right, folks, I'm out of here. This thing's probably going to come and reset and then come back for it later. I don't think they leave a flat top like that, but we'll see. We will see. They only filled some of that player, but now you've got to know that there's buy side now stuck up there. I'm somewhat surprised they didn't swipe it. But we'll see. Like, again, this is what you need to be watching right now. Where did we come up to? Just shy of 190. Remember, 87 was the break. We can reset at 87. 87. 85 was the hold. 85 was the hold. Up to 87. 87 was the break. Up to 190 we talked about. We can reset this to 87. If they find a bid there, they ask for more. If they lose 87, we can think about that move down there. But that'll be this afternoon. Ideally, to be honest, they hold it up for tomorrow. It will be a nicer market now, given the liquidity we built out today. If we can hold up for tomorrow, I think it will provide some really nice opportunities. Some really, really nice opportunities if they're willing to hold this market up for tomorrow. We will see. We will see. All right, folks, and I'll see you back tomorrow. Those in Discord, I'm going to have a little break now. I actually need to do a bit of paperwork and try and get on the blower to NinjaTrader if possible to get this indicator sorted out, or at least a meeting booked in. And we will go again tomorrow, right? Same thing each and every day. We'll go again tomorrow and we'll see what we get. Fingers crossed. I would love it if they could hold this market up today so we can set something up better for tomorrow. If we give the whole move back today, it's going to be a little bit messy for tomorrow if we do that. So fingers crossed, folks. Fingers crossed. All right. Peace and love, everyone. Make sure you use hard stops. Remember, you've got so much news circulating all the time at the moment. You have to be aware of that news circulating and use hard stops. And trade safe this afternoon. Those who hang around, peace out.